outside the window kind of guy.
Joe's really invited, by the way, Joe. If you want to come
Okay.
on out. September 5th, right? We'll find space for you. All
Oh,
right.
that would be cool. Yeah, I don't know. This year, September's a little crazy, but I'd come out at some point.
Next year, DVR
Yeah,
podcast hangout.
You do a DVR
Um,
podcast con
yeah,
yeah.
in Axel's backyard.
that'd be awesome. Um, you guys
Evan
are live
Agee.
on YouTube right now. Let me make Andy the
You're
host.
live.
Make
Speaking of the
host.
first director we're talking about, boom, boom.
Okay.
Whoa.
Ando is the host. And then I disappear.
Oh no, Axel, don't disappear. You
I
gotta
Or
like
leave
watch.
us.
I like how the Zoom back in the day it would still show the thing. Now you just disappear.
Yeah, once you're
Yeah,
if you shut your video off, yeah, it'll just go to blank or
I like
nothing.
that better. All
Oh,
right, gentlemen. Have a good time.
All
Nice
right,
talking to
Axel.
you again, Joe.
You too.
all right.
Heath, and
Thank you, Folo.
talk to you later. Peace out, gentlemen. I can't wait to listen to it.
Oh, neither can I.
You ready
Oh,
to
wait
jump
a
in?
minute.
Yeah,
Why
exactly.
don't we so we'll just do our normal format, Joe, where
Okay.
I'll do my little blah blah blah. Ando will come in with his stats, and then we'll figure out we'll the first one, we'll throw it to we'll throw it to you a couple
Yeah.
times, and we'll just kind of
You guys do
organically.
what you normally do, and then I'll give my thoughts after the introduction and stuff, and you say your stuff.
Yeah, no,
Um,
it'll be fun because it'll be a different perspective.
And don't
yeah.
don't be afraid to hop in too. If something comes to your head, don't be afraid to
Yeah,
interrupt
cut
either
us
one of
off
us.
and
All
go.
right.
You're
I
our
got my notes and
guest.
stuff, so I'll,
You're our guest,
you know.
man.
All right.
Perfect.
All right.
You ready for me to start recording solo?
Oh yeah, shoot. I guess yeah. I better
Okay.
yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, here we go.
All right. Welcome back, everyone, to the film list. You got a list, send it to me, thefilmlist@gmail.com, or if I don't check it, send us any list you want. Your top 10 favorite cats, favorite boats, favorite directors, dvrpodcast@gmail.com. Make sure you put attention Ando, and he'll won't get it because those are not his emails. But we're here. We're counting down my 1,000 favorite films. And yes, it's the Film List podcast, which you can go give us a review, give us a few stars, make us popular, make this happen, folks. But we're also presented by the DVR Podcasting Network. We're also live on YouTube. So if in the future you have no idea when we're going to record, but if you subscribe on YouTube, the page is Ando. What is the page? DVR Podcast
DVR Podcast Network on YouTube.
Network on
Yep.
YouTube. And you can listen to us bozos live. But as I was saying
Or
before,
heckle us if you want to too. That's
yeah,
fine.
yeah,
Comment.
yeah, yeah. I hope Grandpa James isn't going to bed already. We need him in the chat. But remember, you can go to dvrpodcast.com for everything we do. Former pods like Mindhunter and Murder at the End of the World and Game of Thrones and all kinds of good stuff. Duster. If you haven't watched Duster yet, go watch Duster, listen to the pod. And of course, Ando and Axel will be covering Alien Earth on FX Hulu. They did a preview pod, and what is it called? Podcast Huggers or something? What's it called?
Pod huggers.
Pod Huggers.
Nice.
I feel like Tom Brady, does commercials for those boots. Um,
Yes.
so yeah, and if you like us and you want to contribute to our independent podcasting, you can go to patreon.com/DVR. And for a couple bucks a month, you can get pods like this before anyone else, ad-free and exclusive pods. What's very exciting tonight, Ando, as we're counting down the next 10 block, is we finally have a special guest we've been waiting to get on.
I
We're
think
in
he's been teased for at least a year.
teased for at least a year, maybe even 5. Um,
Yes.
and negotiations finally came through. Axel finally dished out the Patreon money, and we got our good friend from Boston, Mr. Joe Bear, is joining us on the film
Yo.
list. What's up, brother?
Hello. Not much. I'll get some of my Patreon money back. That's good. So the
Hey,
investment I put in.
tax write-off. Right, tech.
Yeah, it's an honor to be
It's-
here. As Axel and Heath know, I'm DVR fanboy since 2008 or whenever he started,
Before it was
the
DVR.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
before it was DVR for sure.
Yeah.
Um, and it's an honor to be talking to you, Andy, as someone who's been listening to all the pods. We haven't really
Yes.
talked before, and I'm always a little protective when there's a new host with my boys. But you fit right in, and you've been like really great to listen to. It's always exciting
Thank
to see your
you.
name on
Thank
there.
you.
So it's truly an honor. Nice to talk to you.
I'm happy that you're here too. This is going to be a ton of fun. Well, you know how much fun we have, so it's always fun to have
Yeah,
somebody
That's
else
right.
on.
You guys have never like
I think we
physically.
maybe were on one thing for like 20 seconds one time where you popped on something on one little special pod we
yeah,
did, but it was,
or
I mean, it was only a couple minutes. It was very short.
yeah. I think I did one of the best or top 10 TV of the year,
Yeah, it's
but
one
there
of
was like
those kind of
45
things.
people on it. So
Yeah, yeah, where it's not really the same thing as what this is.
yeah,
Been a while, but I got to spend some time with Joe Bear recently in
yeah,
California. Yeah, so I gave him all the gossip, Ando, all
yeah.
the.
Perfect. The
I
behind the
mean, he
scenes stuff
So
that's
knows
not
he
fit for the
knows
pod.
most of the
Yeah.
behind the scenes, but the special late night stuff that maybe he wasn't privy to, he knows now.
yeah,
Yes. The lost episodes that had to be censored and never
yeah.
released to the
Don't worry,
time. Yeah.
I didn't tell Joe Bear's mom about those.
Yeah, don't tell Joe Bear's mom about it. So when we last left our heroes, it was 796. I got that right, I think, Ando. And it was
I
Rocky Balboa.
it's 2 episodes in a row you've got it right, Solo. So
What the hell is going
we're
on?
I don't know.
All
It's
right.
the end times are near.
Something's near. Yeah, I think it might be the end times or medieval times or something. So do we need to cover anything before we get rolling?
I think we can jump right in.
All right. You
Unless
know
Joe
what,
has anything, we can fire
Joe?
right up.
This
No, I'm
is
ready to.
this is your platform tonight. I want you to speak, yell, laugh, cry. What am I, Jimmy Valvano doing a speech? No, and Rutgers basketball or Packers football or whatever he said. I forget what he said in his speech. One of the best speeches. Anyway, no, it was Packers football.
I'm gonna veto any Packers football talk right now. So
Yeah, well, no, you have to go to Wayne Henderson's pod for Packers
okay,
football talk.
perfect.
All right, so coming in, gentlemen, at number 795. Wow, we're in the 700s.
We're getting there.
We're
Almost
getting
there.
there. We're like, what did you say? We're like just over 20% done. Okay. In a small Korean province in 1986, two detectives struggle with the case of multiple young women being found raped and murdered by an unknown culprit. The film, Memories of Murder.
Released in South Korea on May 2nd, 2003, had a limited release in the US July 15th, 2005, so almost 2 full years later. Well, actually over 2 full years later. Made 1.2 million on a $2.8 million budget. That was worldwide, so it didn't make a ton of money, but it's the
Didn't make
first film.
anything,
Yeah.
evidently.
First film directed by Bong Joon-ho to make the film list, written by Shim Sung-bo and Bong Joon-ho, based on the play Come to See Me by Kim Kwang Lim. I think I'm not sure on that. Some of the pronunciation. You give me these pronunciation some of these tougher,
I'm glad you're
but
doing it, man.
yeah, I know. Okay, starring Song Kang-ho as Detective Park Do-man, Kim Sang-kyung as Detective Sao Tae-yoon. Solo, Memories of Murder. One of the rare foreign films that's made the list. So,
Yeah, well, we're gonna have a lot.
hmm
There's a lot of Korean films I really like, and there's a couple that I've seen in the last 3 years that are in my top like
Actually,
400.
I forgot. This is 2 weeks in a row because Restore Point last week
We
was
had a Czech film last
yes.
week. Yeah, so we're
So
starting to get some foreign films.
we're going international. I like it.
We are. When I was first doing the list, I only did American films, but then it was getting confusing. Well, it's a British film, but and then so I was like, you know what? 1,000 films, I got to put the foreign films. I'm not putting animation in or docs, as we know, but just
Hmm
so. Of course, I'm a huge Bong Joon-ho fan. Oh
If it helps,
God.
anybody that works with him just calls him Director Bong.
All
So
right, so director Bong,
yes.
uh, uh, Ho Bong. Dan, 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 dan. Anyway, so I'm a big fan of Snowpiercer, The Host, of course, Parasite blew me away. And so I was looking up his filmography and I'm like, oh, I always used to call it memoirs of murder, and I realized, it's memories. I think I've changed it on our notes a few times. And so I heard about him like serial killer. I'm like, detectives, Korean film, I'm in. But it was hard to like I didn't notice it until it was hard to find, and then they finally released, I think, a Criterion Blu-ray. So
Hmm.
that's when I bought it. I watched it. Really liked this movie. It probably would be higher if I had seen it back in 2003, but it has the investigation. It's got the great cops and everything, all that, the intrigue, but it has the Korean humor where you could be in a serious
That's what I
moment, and
was
then all
gonna
of a
say.
sudden
The
he
sense of
slides down
humor.
the
Yeah.
hill. He
Uh-huh.
slides down the hill. Uh, but it was a little confusing at times. There were parts I was like a little, not that I thought it maybe dragged a little slow, but in the end, as a whole, this is definitely a movie I'm definitely going to revisit because I'm sure there's stuff I missed the first time around. But 795, great film. I mean, Mr. Bong can direct the hell out of anything. Um,
Yes.
so of course, a lot of his other movies can be way higher on my list, but this one was the most recent one. Aside from Mikey 17, this was the last one I hadn't seen. So, Joe Bear, did you ever see this film? Ever hear of it? Ever watch it?
Yeah, so I watched it for the first time last night.
Oh,
It
talk
was
about
something.
deadlines, baby.
Yeah, yeah, no, it was good. I had to make sure I, watch as much as I could on the list. Um, so saw it last night. It had been on my watch list for a long time. I think that when I would see the poster on there and it kind of looked gray and a little bit dark, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be a murder mystery that's 3 hours long. I'm sure it's great, but it never felt like the thing I was in the mood for, and I was not expecting to be so funny. And I really loved it. I thought it was like um, almost right away. It gets into it and it's beautiful looking. Have you guys seen it recently?
I watched it about a month ago when I
Oh,
saw this
okay.
come up on the film list
I
upcoming.
saw it for the first time like a year ago,
Yep.
so
Oh, okay. Yeah.
but I've only
I won't
watched it
spoil.
once. But
Yeah. Um, but as it goes along, and yeah, you kind of realize that it is a comedy. But it's funny how it does remind you. It's like um, Sarah had mentioned watching like Zodiac, but then there's a little bit of a True
Hmm.
Detective season one thing too, except instead of fields in Louisiana, it's fields in Korea. Them
right.
standing outside and the old cars and everything. There's a sort of like washed out tone to the whole thing too. It's almost green tinted, which
Yeah.
is
Hmm.
made it
Hmm.
kind of feel like a detective thing. And um, the characters seem kind of self-aware about their role as detectives and not being the best detective. Like each of them at one point seems like they're the best
Yes.
person, and then something happens. And even like this, the scope of the movie as it goes along, you realize halfway through that like everything that was coming together in the first half, each lead that seemed to be connected to the next thing and seemed too good to be true and felt like it would be happening in a movie. The second half of the movie, those things are all being proved wrong and everything kind of falls apart. Um, which is sort of like a dark humor element to it that like these you can never solve this case sort of feeling.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I really loved it. And I think because of the humor, it'd be something that I would revisit more than if it was just straight ahead, because even something
Hmm.
like Zodiac, which is how long it is and like how kind of serious and somber it is what makes it so good. But it's not something I want to watch every year, you know.
Yeah, that's a hundred
Whereas this
percent.
is sort of
Yeah.
within the genre, but also funny. And
Hmm. Yeah, the that was the first thing I wrote in my notes was I couldn't believe how funny it was. I should have known because Parasite, I actually think, which I also love, I think was also very funny too. So I should not have been surprised that the humor was here. But there was also scenes that are crazy intense too, like
Yeah.
the first scene where the killer is first stalking and it's out in the
oh
cornfield and
yeah.
you see like the killer pop up behind her and then I'm like, whoa, this is just awesome stuff. And like there's a bar fight that is crazy intense or like there's a scene where they all come they're looking for one of the suspects and the one guy leaves a bra and some other stuff there and all the detectives are kind of closing in on him. And then it would like you said it would be funny and then crack a joke about it 10 seconds later. It just I really love this film. I was like you, Joe Bear. One I'd always been meaning to watch, but never had kind of. It's like, oh, I'll watch it eventually. I want to see it. I like his other films, and I'm super glad I finally checked this out because it's very good.
And I think for people watching it need to, I almost feel like you need to have watched, of course, some of his films before, but other Korean films because I mean there could be a tidal wave coming to kill everyone, and there'll be funny scenes like
Hmm.
throughout. It's just that's part of Korean cinema for the most part. One of my favorites we'll talk about, well, big discussion, Infernal Affairs.
Oh,
That one
yep.
doesn't have, I don't think, too much humor in it. It's one of the few that doesn't have humor, so much humor in it. But they do like to add, I think, to break tension. But this one is more than I was expecting.
Hmm.
And that's why I thought it was going to be strictly like Zodiac or Seven. And when it wasn't, I was like, oh. And that kind of made me like it more, to be honest with you, because it
Hmm.
was different. And I enjoyed what was happening. And I was on my toes, and then I'm laughing. I'm like, I shouldn't be laughing. Women are getting killed. But it had that balance, which made it very interesting. And uh, yeah, I'm glad I finally watched it, and it really is one of my favorites. And will be more of a favorite, I think, when I watch it every few years. I can't watch it maybe after the film
Yeah,
list is done, I'll have time.
I think you're right. This is one that the longer I get away from it, the more I think it's going to stick with me, and it'll raise my all-time ranks too.
Yeah.
A few other trivia notes that I found too. This was also inspired, besides the play that it was based on, which was based on real life events, a real life series of unsolved crimes. It was also heavily inspired by, they made a movie out of this comic book, From Hell, that had Johnny Depp in it. This is
Oh.
also heavily inspired by that Alan Moore comic. And Bong has said that he made this film because he wanted the actual killer of the unsolved killer or the unsolved mystery to actually watch the movie. That's why, like at the
Hmm.
very end, when a detective looks straight into the camera. That was kind of his. And
Ah,
the
yeah.
guy finally in 2019, the guy actually confessed to doing this and said he had seen the film. He said that's not why he did
Wow.
it, but he did. The unsolved mystery was finally
Damn.
found. So
Did not
there's
know
some cool
this.
behind the scenes stuff on this. Yeah.
It wasn't you, Joe Beer, was it? No.
No, I hadn't seen the film yet, so I couldn't have.
Yeah,
Oh, that's true.
yeah,
That's
that's
true. It was
right.
last
Yes,
night.
That's
Damn it.
yeah,
right.
Technicalities. What the
innocent.
hell? And it's, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, anybody that hasn't
Yeah,
seen this, go and watch it. I actually was on Tubi for quite a while. That's how I
Oh,
saw it
okay.
here a month or so ago. I don't know if it's still on there, but otherwise, I'm going to get the Criterion disc of this at some point too. It's
Yeah.
it's excellent.
It's funny, Joe Bear, that you mentioned like True Detective, and because I feel like that's what the Blu-ray cover like reminds me of. It's got that
yeah, totally.
feel of that Woody and McConaughey poster, even though
Yeah,
it's got, yeah, that's a great point because
It does
I
feel like
looked
that a
at it, I'm like,
lot.
I feel like I've seen what this reminds me of something, and now I know what it reminded me of, the colors and everything. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, it didn't take an hour to do the first film. I'm surprised. The next one may take a few minutes. You ready?
I'm ready. Yes.
All right. So coming in at 794, a homicide detective, go figure, another homicide detective and a fire marshal must stop a pair of murderers who commit videotaped crimes to become media darlings. The film, 15 minutes.
Released on March 9th, 2001. It sat on the shelf. It was actually supposed to be released in spring of 2000. Made 24 million on a $60 million budget. Opened at number two at the box office behind the second weekend of a movie I completely forgot about, the Brad Pitt, Julia Roberts film, The Mexican.
Oh,
I forgot that
Gandolfini.
film even existed. So, written and directed by John Hertzfeld, who also did 2 Days in the Valley. Starring Robert De Niro as Eddie Fleming, Edward Burns as Geordie Warsaw, Kelsey Grammer as Robert Hawkins, Avery Brooks in his last film
Hawk.
appearance to date as Leon Jackson,
See,
Melina
I know him
Kanakarides.
real quick, and I know
Yeah.
him as Hawk from
Hmm.
Spencer. I know Deep Space Nine, everyone will say that, but he's Hawk, man. The
Yeah.
night belongs to the Hawk, is all I'm gonna
He's
say.
one of those guys anytime he shows up, I always enjoy him. So he's just an underrated actor, I think.
Oh, I love Avery Brooks. Met him when I was in eighth grade on the set of
Nice.
Spencer for Hire at Wellesley College. Just
That's
little
worth doing the
tidbit,
podcast right here just to hear that little
just to
nugget.
hear
That
that
was
little
that
thing.
was great. Let's see, where was it? Melina Kanakarides as Nicolette Karras, Vera Farmiga as Daphne Handalova, Charlize Theron as Rose Hearn, Kim Cattrall as Cassandra, David Alan Grier as Mugger in Central Park, and an extremely young
Sounds like
Anton
roles I
Yelchin
do.
as Boy in Burning Building. Solo,
Oh,
15 minutes. This is one I did not get a chance to rewatch. I watched it
okay.
way back like in 2002, but I have not rewatched this one.
Saw it in the theater. It was definitely during my Ed Burns phase. I loved Ed Burns for like 20 years. I still do. He's actually good friends with my buddy Chris Sparling. But I'm just always been a big Ed Burns fan, and so I just loved his attitude with De Niro, and just I was like, wow, Ed Burns and De Niro in a film. This should be cool. And I really like this film. I mean, it's not a perfect film, but it really, early 2000s really goes like they're videotaping their murders. It was kind of like a new thing, and it was like I'd not seen a movie that really I can remember that did that. In the whole 15 Minutes of Fame, great cast. I rewatched it probably about 4 years ago and remembered how much fun I had with it. Especially I don't have it in front, but the two the Russian actors. Um, the big guy who's always filming, he was in acting class with one of my good friends, my friend Dell.
Hmm.
And then he got this and started you know, of course, I think he stopped going to acting class because he was working as an actor. That's usually what happens.
Well, once you start acting, you don't need to learn anymore, right? So
Yeah,
you know
right,
it all,
right,
so
right.
you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
quit. Yeah.
yeah. That is funny. That's for another pod. But it's got some action. It's got my girl from Providence. I know she was in CSI New York. Melina Kanakarides. I mean, I forgot Vera Farmiga was in this.
I
Um,
I was surprised to see her name when
and
I
and Kim Cattrall. I'm like, wait a minute. Like it's starting to come back to me.
this
But
has got a
yeah,
sneaky
no,
good cast.
yeah, sneaky good cast. It was a fun movie to see in the theater, and it's a typical 2001-ish movie. It's just there's a lot of movies like Confidence and different movies that just feel the same. Uh,
Hmm.
so so yeah, 15 minutes, man. Love my Ed Burns and some De Niro.
Joe, you have
He,
anything to say
I,
about 15 minutes?
he's got two
this is one.
minutes. That's it.
It's okay. I pretty much have that much to say. I haven't seen this one, but I was thinking about trying to watch it, and then I watched like the trailer and some other clips and stuff from it. And I was pretty intrigued by the mini DV camera part of it. Like it
Hmm.
does seem like something would be in like horror movies from that time, but this seemed like
Right.
trying to bring it into an action movie. Um, so that looked like it was kind of fun. I could see how that would be a fun concept.
Yeah, the only thing I remember because I think isn't Kelsey Grammer like a news anchor or something?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe
That's I
so.
remembered that, and I remembered kids videotaping, and I don't. It just did not, one of those ones did not don't remember it at all. Didn't even, and I don't think it's streaming anywhere right now, so I
Uh,
didn't really get time to check it out. But
I got the Blu-ray, and I wish it was one that I watched because I'm not going to have much to say about it either. No, but no,
well, that's okay. It's you got it on the list. You got it on the record.
I got it.
Edward
I have to
Burns, De
get it on
Niro.
the record. This is a fun movie. If you're an Ed Burns fan, I mean, he goes nuts. Like there's a scene where the killer is filming him, and he goes off like to the camera. You want to be famous? You want to, he's
Oh, yeah.
going crazy, and it was like, oh shit, Ed Burns going. And I like the back and forth with him and De Niro. Good, like De Niro, like moving the car. He's trying to get in that old gag, like stuff like
Well,
that.
and I read a little bit when I was doing some research from it, and it seems like a lot of people now are calling it a great satire, like an underrated satire from that time.
Ah.
So it must be funnier than what I don't remember it being funny at all, but
It could. It'd be interesting to revisit or act like a Joe Bear watch it for the first time now.
yeah.
It may be more cheesier than what I
Well, and
remember, I guess.
all
But
the everybody recording everything all the time now may actually be more timely now than it was in 2001. I don't,
yeah.
and it's mixed reviews. Like Roger Ebert gave it 3 out of 4 stars, but it's only like 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. So like
Hmm.
the reviews are all over the place. So I'll maybe if I see this pop up on Netflix some night, I'll maybe throw it on and just give it a second chance. But say it's
Maybe I'll
been
just buy you the Blu-ray
okay,
and send it to you. Um,
perfect.
yeah, no, it's a fun movie. It's kind of Ando. You know how we've been doing the film list and we've been talking about those 90s thrillers or 80s
Hmm.
thrillers. It's kind of I put it in the 2000 thriller. It's kind of like just coming out of there,
Yeah.
but like kind of the same.
Yeah.
I
The
appreciate it.
mid-budget, action-y
Yeah.
kind of drama. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, another bomb that's on the list, Joe Bear. But hey, you know what? What are you gonna do? I
All
can't,
right.
me and the box office just don't
I
get
mean, you're in the
along.
700s here. Anything goes.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and the next one is not really a box office bomb. The next one was a huge success. So,
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna make up for that.
yes.
Yeah.
All right. All
High
right.
five.
So let's move on. Check out 15 minutes if you have it. If you thought it was crap, that's okay. Because there's a lot of crappy films so far on the film list that I love. I love Jason Takes Manhattan.
Hey, once you put Red Surf on the list,
Red
anything
Surf.
goes.
I had to. I met Doug Savant and we talked about Red Surf. And he told me the fact that I had the VHS, he goes, Clooney would love that. And I'm like,
Well, there
tell
was
George.
I was just thinking about the other day because I'm doing notes ahead, and not tonight, but in a podcast or two, there's a George Clooney film coming up. And in my notes, I was writing the first George Clooney film to make the film list, and then I remembered Red Surf. I'm like, that belongs to the honor belongs to Red Surf.
Red
So
Surf. Oh God. You guys, the fact that you even want to hang out with me, I'll tell you. All right. Coming in at 793, Laurie Stroud. A lot of people know who Laurie Stroud is. If you don't, now the dean of California private school with an assumed name, must battle the shape one last time. Yeah, one last time.
yeah,
Uh, as the life of her own son hangs in the balance. The film, Halloween H2O, 20 years later.
this was actually released on a Wednesday, August 5th, 1998. Opening weekend made 55, or excuse me, made 50.
Yesterday.
Yeah, yeah.
Yesterday. It was
Oh, you're right.
27
released.
years in one day.
Yeah, it's 27 years in a day. Yes. Made 55 million on a 17 million dollar budget. At the time of release, it was the highest grossing Halloween film. It was later passed by the 2018 David Gordon Green reboot. Opened at number 2 at the weekend behind the third week of Saving Private Ryan
Oh.
and one spot ahead of the first week of Snake Eyes, a film we talked about a few weeks ago.
Ah.
Well, to us it was a few months ago, but to listeners that when they finally got the podcast a few weeks ago, um, this is the second film in the Halloween franchise to make the film list. Number 956 was Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. This is the second film to be directed by Steve Miner to make the film list. The first was number 918, Friday the 13th Part 2. So he has directed a
Ah.
Halloween and a Friday the 13th sequel.
That was in
Um,
Portland. I don't remember
yes,
that
I don't
podcast.
either. John Carpenter actually originally signed on to direct, but ended up quitting over money. Um, let's see. This is written by Robert Zappia and Matt Greenberg. A lot of it was actually uncredited to Kevin Williamson, who was just coming off of
Mm,
the first two Scream films. They wanted him to make this more like Scream, and watching it now, it's pretty obvious that's what they were trying to do, I think.
yeah.
Based on the characters created by Deborah Hill and John Carpenter. It's the seventh film in the Halloween franchise. Let's see it, and there's a sequel to this one, the next one, obviously, but I don't think Halloween Resurrection is going to make the list. Jamie Lee Curtis as
Well, first of all, don't ever doubt with my taste,
you're right.
but no, it's not. It's
Okay.
yeah.
Stars Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode, Adam Arkin as Will Brennan, who you guys talked about solo, you and Axel talked about recently because he's one of the main producers on Poker Face now. Also, The Americans and Sugar, a big producer. Doesn't much acting more. Michelle Williams as Molly, Adam Han Bird as Charlie, Jodie Lynn O'Keefe as Sarah, Janet Leigh as Norma, her first film since the 1980 The Fog.
Wow.
Introducing Josh Hartnett in his film debut as John, LL Cool J as Ronnie, and a poor Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Jimmy who doesn't make it through the opening credits solo. Halloween H2O.
All right. So, as the listeners know, friends, family, I love good slasher film. I love the Halloween, Friday the 13th films. Now, we've talked about this before, but I feel with this film, it's appropriate too, because when Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street in the 90s started getting just really bad, and just it kind of like was a dud. Horror was dead. Then Scream comes out, and then you get, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and all these films, and you're like, oh, horror came back. And so when I saw the poster that Halloween was coming back, I was like, oh shoot, this is a pretty Jamie Lee. I was so excited. Jamie Lee and her mom, Janet Lee, is in the film with her. I think that's freaking great.
Hmm.
Um, it's Good film. Again, it's tough to say good. Like, there's certain horror films that you can say is a like an Alien or something that's up there, Oscar type. This,
It's a different
it was,
category of film.
yeah, it's a different category, but I thought they did a good job with having Jamie Lee back on the screen as Laurie, just for me, did it. And then I'm like, oh, Hartnett, LL Cool J was in like every movie around this time, Deep Blue Sea, and he popped up everywhere. So
Hmm.
of course, love a little LL. And Jodie Lynn O'Keefe, Prison Break, big Prison Break
I
fan. She
believe
was
this was her film debut as well, actually,
wow, a
Jodie
lot
Lynn
of
O'Keefe.
debuts,
Yep.
and of course Michelle Williams, the Dawson's Creek. But who knew Michelle Williams would be like Oscar nominated and all that? Like, she was always good, and you're like, oh, Michelle Williams kind of, maybe she's outranking everyone with the stuff she's doing. And then of course it just went a different way. But I bet, for her. But yeah, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I'm like, oh, 30 Rock from the Sun guy. But now it's
Yeah.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Uh, can't wait to talk about Brick in the near future or future. I don't think it's going to be
Yeah.
near.
Well, I don't know how nerd that's going to be. I don't remember seeing that on the list for a while.
No, it's yeah. I just realized I even bumped it up a little more. Anyway, so Halloween, H2O, Jamie Lee, Joe Bear.
Yeah, I'm a fan of all the Halloween movies pretty much. This one I do like. It's uh I can I can remember, but I mean, when it came out originally, I was a kid, so I was like, no, probably like 12 or something like that, and
Youngster.
or less, and I can remember coming out and just being really confused about the water part of it. Why is this? What's going on here? And I think I didn't watch it for a while after that. So then when I did, eventually after watching, I hadn't actually watched it until I watched the Halloween movies in order and got up
Hmm.
to it. And in that sequence, it is quite a relief in terms of how different it feels and how kind of modern it feels. And there's parts of it that do kind of feel like the original movie. Some of the opening is really good when the nurse, who's the same nurse from the original films too, and Dr. Loomis's nurse. That's that same actress playing her, and that's sort of the opening with Justin Gordon-Levitt. That whole part
Hmm.
is really good. There's like a opening trick-or-treating scene with the knife going through the pumpkin head and all that kind of stuff. It does feel like Halloween, which is kind of all I'm ever really looking for in these movies too. Um, and there's like a bunch of stuff that I think makes it fun. Josh Hartnett is actually pretty good. Like in this sort of thing, his character is kind of unlikable because he sort of feels like he's like at a boarding school, like wearing a little outfit, and he just kind of seems lame. But the LL Cool J part where he's like writing the erotic screenplay
Yeah,
or whatever
yeah,
and
the
reading it out,
romance novels.
that
Yes,
part's pretty
that's
funny.
yes.
Um, the like Janet Leigh stuff is fun. I mean, when she shows up and she like gets into the same car from Psycho and they play like some of the Psycho
Yeah, they
music
play
and
the
like
Psycho
it's very
score.
like
Yes, it's great.
yeah. Um but like it's like kind of goofy, but I'd rather have it in there than not have it in there. The Michael Myers, I think, in this is one is kind of goofy though too. He does have a lot of hair. There's a lot of like kind of goofy looking shots. He's not as
Well,
scary,
I
but
think I read something on here when I was doing some research. I didn't jot it down in my notes, but I think they actually used more than one different mask while filming
yeah,
this, like completely different masks, not just a copy of the same mask. So to
yeah.
make it even more confusing. But yeah, I actually really I don't think I'd ever watched this one. I thought I had, but I watched this probably 3, 4 weeks ago too. I really like this one. I've always been hit or
You're
miss on.
disappointing me, guys. I want some like backlash and like Solo. This film sucks, but
Oh,
uh,
we'll get. I've got one at least that I'm gonna.
okay, good, good, good.
And I think it'll be a surprising because I think a lot of people actually love it. So,
Okay,
but
okay.
I thought I really, and I was always more of a Scream guy than I was other horror franchises. So that might be why I like it more. It's just a little more, just my vibe. In the one scene too that will stick out with me forever is the scene at the very begin. Well, not the very beginning, close to the beginning at the rest stop or the bathroom or
Hmm.
wherever, where the kid and the mom go into the bathroom and even though Michael Myers doesn't kill them like you think that scene just kind of creeped me out a little bit. So I thought that reminded me a lot of an older Halloween film as well. So I really
Yeah.
ended up liking this one, and it was short. That's part of why I rewatched it, 86 minutes. So it was easy to do a rewatch of this film.
I'll see.
So
I watched the director's cut. That's 87
oh
minutes.
well,
I'm just kidding. I'm
that
just
extra
kidding.
60 seconds was huge.
Yes, it was. It
Uh,
was very huge.
Did you see that 2018 Halloween, the David Gordon Green
Yes.
ones?
Yep,
Because
I've
there's
watched
also
all
a rest
those.
stop scene in that one, which was what I was
Yes,
Oh,
reminded of. And
which
that's
I
was
like to
forgot
me one of
that.
the
intense.
scariest scenes in that movie. Like they show his boots under the stall, and it's very like just
Oh,
intense, and
yeah, yeah,
people
yeah,
definitely die
yeah.
in that scene.
You're right. I
But
forgot about that. I wasn't even thinking
so
about
having
that
that,
then. Yeah.
yeah, in my head, then watching this, I was like, oh no, it's not going to go good for these two in the bathroom
Yeah.
here. And so when they let him go, it's so effective because you're like, well, why is he
Yeah.
letting them go? And it kind of makes it he's clearly looking for somebody very specific.
Yeah, I thought that
But
was refreshing because it wasn't just a standard we're gonna kill everybody on the screen and it was a
yeah,
nice I
fake
that's
out.
but you're right, I forgot about that in the David Gordon Green one. It's been a few years since I've seen that one. I wasn't even thinking about it. But yeah,
Yeah,
now I remember it after you say it. Yeah, that's interesting. That's
tense.
cool.
Yeah, I liked that the 2018 one a lot.
Yeah, I did
I
too.
didn't like the second one as much, and I still haven't seen Hollywood Ends or whatever that's
Halloween
called.
Ends I thought it was really good. It's interesting. They do something I wasn't expecting, but I felt like it was good. Definitely
Okay.
uh yeah. I like the first and the third, yeah, and the second one is very goofy and
Yeah,
doesn't get much
I
done, but there's parts of it I like.
I agree with that. I like the third one as
Yeah.
well. I thought they were I actually liked that trilogy as a whole. I didn't second was the worst one, but I still enjoyed that trilogy as a whole, I thought.
Yeah, like 2018 felt very first Halloween, second Halloween. Like it had that feel. There wasn't a lot to it. Took place, where it should be, but it just felt like it would be like the third movie of the two. I don't
Hmm.
know now what's the whole thing with the new ones? Did they say, oh, the other ones don't exist, or what I guess
I
what
think
four
what
through
did they
six
say the
don't
first I
exist?
think they say it was a direct sequel to Halloween 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, so
Okay.
this Halloween H2O also discounts the movies before, like it picks up after two, and then I think the David Gordon Green ones basically pick up after two as well. Um, although because I don't know if I should spoil, but like what happens to Michael Myers at the end of Halloween H2O is supposed to be pretty final, so
Hmm.
they kind of are
Yeah.
going back a little bit, but continue that first storyline, and then the Rob
Well,
Zombie
and
ones are
it
completely
wouldn't be
Oh
different
a
yeah, the
too.
Rob Zombie.
So
I still haven't seen those. I have them. I
very
own them.
different, yeah.
I haven't
I
seen them.
watched the first one and I just don't really enjoy Rob Zombie as a filmmaker, I
Yeah,
think. So
there's
I'm
something
like
visceral about it, like but it's yeah, enjoy isn't how I would feel about it either.
yeah, that's like
But it's
exactly
interesting
right.
in the sequence of the Halloween movies. It's interesting to see like, oh, here's a completely different take on it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's well, and I mean, it wouldn't be a long-running horror franchise if the continuity wasn't all over the place and things didn't make
Yeah,
sense. And so, I mean, reboots or is it a reboot? Is it not? Is he still
Well,
alive? Does he
yeah.
hit power lines underneath the water and get resurrect himself? I mean,
yeah, well, could they do the multiverse and then course correct? Oh no.
I'm
Have
amazed
three
that
different
hasn't
Michael
been
Myers
done.
show up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, into the Halloween verse. Yeah, I could definitely see it.
Into the multiverse. All right.
Well, you know what? This song ends with a song by Creed playing. I hope we don't have to do
Yeah,
that to transition to the next song or the next movie solo. I can play a Creed song quick if we need to. Never mind, that joke bombed.
Oh, okay. Not a not the biggest Creed fan.
I'm not either. That's
Oh,
why I
okay.
was
Yeah, but I'm also a little slow tonight. Okay. Coming in.
then maybe you are the biggest Creed fan. All right, keep moving. Just kidding. I like something like
I need to get a soundboard with a little rim shot when we have guests because that was
I
great.
know, I know. Well, I like that, Joe Bear. Joe Bear
I
bringing
understand.
the A
I kind of like
plus.
some of that early Creed. Creed has a big resurgence now, amongst the
Uh-huh.
youth.
Yes,
Ah,
People who got
definitely.
younger than me. I don't know.
jeez, my grandkids. All right, coming in at 792. After assuming his dead cellmate's identity to get with the other man's girlfriend, an ex-convict finds himself a reluctant participant in a casino heist. The film at 792, Reindeer Games.
Released on February 25th, 2000, 2 months after Christmas, just in case anyone's keeping track, for a Christmas heist film named Reindeer Games. Made 23 million on a 42 million dollar budget. Opened at number 2 at the box office behind the second weekend of The Whole Nine Yards. It's the first film directed by John Frankenheimer to make the film list. This was also his last film before he passed away. He's also, just a refresher for people, Ronin, Island of Dr. Moreau, French Connection 2, and the original Manchurian Candidate, among many other films. Written by Aaron Kruger, who has been writing forever too. He wrote the Scream 3, The Ring, three Transformers films, Top Gun Maverick, and F1 this year, actually. So he
Oh
is still working.
wow.
Stars Ben Affleck as Rudy Duncan. This was one of four movies that were starring Ben Affleck in the year 2000. Charlize Theron again, second time this episode as Ashley, Gary
Ah,
Sinise as Gabriel, Dennis Farina as Jack Bangs, James Frain as Nick Cassidy, Donald Logue as Pug, Clarence William III as Merlin, Danny Trejo as Jumpy, Isaac Hayes as Zook, a very young Aston Kutcher as College Kid, and 1997 NFL Defensive Player of the Year Dana Stubblefield as the Alamo. Solo, reindeer games. Why in God's name is this on the list?
I
Please tell
for,
me.
I love it. I love it. Charlize Theron. There's a
Well, yeah,
twist. There's action. So I'm assuming this is the one that you hate.
well, this wasn't the one. I forgot this one was on the list. This wasn't the one I don't really. I'm not a fan of this one. I did rewatch it because I remember watching it like 20 years ago, and like I remember not liking it. I'm like, I'll give it another shot, and I'm like, yeah,
And
I
still
still
don't.
don't like this.
Okay. Well, again, this is the early 2000s ish. Saw it in the theater. Just I loved it. I still do. It's little, it just it's one of those types of movies that just clicked with me. I really had a great experience in the theater with it. Rewatched it a few times through the years, and just I still dig it. Now, does it have problems? Yeah. Is it there's other things that yes, you could say it's not the greatest film ever. May not even be as good as Red Surf, but um
That's
it's a
oh,
Heath
that's a
it's a
tough
Heath
comparison
Heath
there.
Solo guilty pleasure. And
Well,
anytime Dennis Farina shows up in a film, it bumps. I'm a big Dennis
well,
Farina guy.
that's the thing. This cast is great. I love a large chunk of this cast, and I think there actually is some good sequences in this. There's just other parts where I'm like, oh, they just didn't quite put it all together for me, I guess, is on this one.
No,
Have you
that's
seen this one, Joe?
understandable.
I thought that I had it, and then I started watching, and I realized that I had at least seen some of it before. Yeah, it's so hard to get past. Like, why would you put this out 2 months after Christmas? It's the same thing with Halloween. Like, why do you put that out in August? There's
Yeah.
nothing that kind of stuff upsets me a lot. Here's your like my
Well, you
chances of
guys
going to
know
see this in the
why,
theater.
because they knew it wasn't
Like,
going to make any money, so they put
yeah,
it
like
in the old February month where hopefully. But you're right. It's
February.
it's a genre. I mean genre, but it's Christmas time set. And it's like unless you're calling the film Christmas in August, Arnold, or Christmas in Connecticut. That's that one. Never mind.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But
Hallmark
don't you
one.
think like marketing wise, like you have the entire world is like painted in the same
Yeah.
rain, this like Christmas tone. Everybody's gonna go see it
And
in December.
or actually, yeah, people go to see movies or more adult focused movies at Christmas time all the time. So it's surprising, but I
Yeah.
know there was a bunch of behind the scenes problems with this, and
Yeah.
Weinstein's going in and recutting and re-editing stuff out, and I mean, there's still one of my main things I don't like about this is, and part of the reason I brought up Snake Eyes earlier is because Sinise is doing another version of that character he played in Snake Eyes, and I thought he was a lot better at it in that one than this one because he is so over the top in this, like almost like a cartoon villain at times, and it didn't seem
That's
to
what he
fit with.
kind of turned into, right?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
kind of
it's I
got a big
really,
paycheck and just kind of siniced it, I guess.
but there is some good stuff in this. A lot of the heist stuff I like. I mean, Charlize Theron in the swimming pool. That was the one scene I remembered from this film.
That immediately goes to 790 or
Yeah, I mean that
789 or
alone
whatever,
is
or
where I
792,
take back what
792.
I take back what I said before. That scene alone should just make it into the film list. So,
Yeah, Charlize Theron could do no wrong for me, and because yeah, then I would meet
and
her a
there
few
was
years later
I
and know
forgot that
where
you
she
said that
lived.
before.
Yeah, I
Oh,
knew where she lived.
that's
I didn't
amazing.
stalk her, nothing. I was
You could
very,
have though.
I mean, go to, Franklin and then turn a right on Lookout Mountain Road. And anyway, um, for those of you in Cali who know Hollywood, um, I'm wondering, I mean, you have this movie, you got Sinise now. At this point, Gary Sinise, okay, he won his Oscar and he was, Ransom, but he started playing the bad guys
Hmm.
um a lot more. But you think it with Ben Affleck, I guess, I mean, do you have offhand with the other 2000 movies that were
Yes. The fl what do I Flash? What the hell is that? I must have wrote a okay, Daredevil, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. So he was in that, but he wasn't
but no,
the
okay,
star,
not
but he was
yeah.
in it quite a bit. And I have something written down called Flash. What the hell is that? I don't understand my own notes that I wrote. So I'll look it up while you
Hmm.
talk about Affleck. But that was in that same time we talked about this movie. It was Daredevil, where he was in like 8 or 9 movies within like 18 months.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it was oversaturation. I mean, because I don't know which if he was the same studio. I'm sure it was different studios and stuff. But I'm surprised, like with Charlize Theron, Sinise, you know, great
Well,
supporting cast, that they wouldn't have taken a chance at some box office. But
and it was kind of before. I think it was before.
because it was
What am I
after
gonna say?
Armageddon.
Yeah, but well, for Charlize though, I think it was before she became Charlize that we know. The Oscar was after this,
Yeah,
I think.
Monster would have been after this. She was because 2 Days in the Valley,
Hmm.
that thing you do. Trying to think. Oh yeah, so this is kind of might be yeah before she became a huge name.
Okay, so I was completely wrong. I must have messed up my notes somehow or looked at something else. So I was completely wrong. Daredevil was not that year.
What the?
The
Yeah,
the
that was like
movies,
'03, I think.
yeah, Boiler Room, Reindeer Games, Bounce was the one with Gwyneth Paltrow that was also
Oh,
in.
okay.
So there was a whole bunch of those
Oh,
Weinstein ones.
there
Those,
was not a good run,
yeah. And Pearl Harbor was right after this, the next year after this.
and that wasn't a big. I mean, I think Pearl Harbor might have made money, but I remember it being like, oh boy, this
Yeah.
was, you know, oh wow, tough road for Ben. Well, he's don't doing okay.
Yeah, we're not going to have a pity party for Ben on
No,
this
no,
podcast.
no, he's doing it, but it happens. I mean, he's probably, got famous and is like, I need to
Oh,
work. And
I thought he was fine in this. I mean, it wasn't a great performance, but it was not bad. He was decent. And like I said, none of the I didn't really have besides Sinise, I didn't really Dennis Farina does what Dennis Farina does. He's always
yeah,
great. Um Danny Trejo, Donald Logue, they do
it kind of
exactly the
seemed
performances
like
you think.
everyone who got paid to just do what you do, don't go too deep,
And
not
there's
phone it in, but at the same time,
watching
just
it this last time too, there's a lot of like a lot of Dutch angles where there's these calf cockeyed angles on the filming, and there's a lot of very strange close-ups, like right in the actor's face. There's like a narration that comes in like 2/3 of the way through the movie that you don't hear any other time in the movie. Just the weird things like that that make me think that the problems with this are deeper than what the cast is, I think.
yeah. Joe Bear, any more deep problems you want to share on the pod?
No, not on this one. Not
Okay,
on this one.
we're gonna just
I
move.
wish I had some sleigh bells though, so I could ring us in and out.
Oh, that would have
Yeah,
been
so,
awesome.
that's perfect. Well,
Yeah, I
the
don't have
next one
any.
actually was nominated for some Oscars, so
Oh, all right,
this will be a nice 180 on
all right. Let's
the
take a
film list.
180 and let's go from wherever the hell Reindeer Games took place to New York City. Coming in at 791. The life of a divorced television writer dating a teenage girl is further complicated when he falls in love with his best friend's mistress. Gee, I wonder who we're talking about, folks. Yes, Woody Allen's Manhattan coming in at 791.
Released on April 25th, 1979, made 39 million on a $9 million budget. This is the fourth film directed by Woody to make the film list. He is now has the most appearances of any director. He breaks a
Oh,
tie that he had with Martin Scorsese and James Mangold, who each have three.
look
His
at
other films that
that.
have been on so far are Bananas, Shadows and Fog, and Stardust Memories. Two of those
And
were on the same podcast because we did it live on the fly
in
in
Portland, and
Portland
I
with
don't
no
even
notes.
remember. And yeah, and I still don't remember that, Joe
Yeah, that
Bear.
was like at 1 o'clock in the morning after a lot
Yeah, we're
of
like, oh, another
stuff.
Woody Allen film. All
Yeah.
right.
Written by Marshall Brickman and Woody Allen, starring Woody Allen as Isaac, Diane Keaton as Mary. This is one of her 8 collaborations with him. Michael Murphy as Yale, Mariel Hemingway as Tracy, Meryl Streep as Jill, Michael O'Donoghue as Dennis, Karen Allen as television actor number 2, Wallace Shawn as Jeremiah, Perfect Strangers fame Mark Lynn Baker as Shakespearean actor, Frances Conroy as Shakespearean actress, and an uncredited Jigsaw himself, Tobin Bell, as Man on Street.
My
So
boy.
Manhattan.
So I think this is one of the better Woody Allen films, but as far as favorites, I there's a bunch of them I like more. I just think it's like his I don't well, I'm not going to say is this maybe his film that's his most love letter to New York City because the shots of New York City really take you in.
Hmm.
And that's what really got me in black and white. And it just I felt like because I watched Woody Allen films in a different order. And when the first one I ever saw was Manhattan Murder Mystery, which is my favorite Woody Allen film. And then I kind of went down the rabbit hole and started watching. I didn't watch them in a row. So, Manhattan I really liked. And it felt because this is, correct me if I'm wrong, this is after Annie Hall, right?
Yep.
This is right
Annie
after
Hall was
Annie Hall.
77.
78, 77. Okay. Wow, what a year 77 was.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
yeah. Any big Star Wars fan will always
oh,
say,
that's
"I
right.
hate Annie Hall because
Glenn
it beat Star
Glenn
Wars at the
Glenn says I will
Oscars."
never
Mhm.
watch Annie Hall
Yes.
because I was the same with Unforgiven beating out A Few Good Men for many years until I came around.
I love
Um,
both of those films, so they're
yeah,
both highly
yeah, I
ranking for me.
appreciated Unforgiven a lot later in life
Hmm.
because I was very anti because Few Good Men was my.
Hmm.
Anyway, let's go back to Manhattan.
We'll talk
Um,
plenty about A Few Good Men when we get there.
no, it's just funny. It's just I just have a real attraction to Woody Allen films, not to Woody. Uh, I could barely get through that Mia Farrow doc. But again, Joe Bear, we're not talking about the Roman Polanskis of the world off the court. We're just talking the film itself. And I was really fascinated with this film. I saw this film when I was in film school for the first time. For the first time I saw it, I was in film school. So like I appreciate that. And then going to school in New York. I mean, even though it was Syracuse, but still that feel. I was amazed. And so it struck me in college, like, wow, this is a very artsy-ish film, and I love the acting. And so I'm just a big Woody Allen as an actor fan, and even his directing. I like the way his way of intimacy in the city just really hit me with this one.
Joe, what do you
Sure.
got to
Joe,
say?
Joe, come
All
on,
right.
Joe. We're paying you big money to be on this pod.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is a movie I like a lot. I definitely grew up watching a lot of Woody Allen movies and trying to check them all off. There's a certain kind of he's almost a genre within himself, which is kind of like ease and the sort of
Yeah,
character
that's
stuff
a
that
good way
he
to put
does.
it.
And
That is a very good way to put it.
so it's it is difficult now with everything that's happened to know how to feel about that when those films feel very foundational. Like this movie, for example, has always felt very much making like part of the mythology of New York City and that black and white photography. And I've seen this on 35 millimeter in the theater, which was really
Oh,
a cool
Oh,
nice.
experience.
wow. Yeah.
They were doing, I think when Gordon Willis died, they showed the Brattle, which is my kind of favorite indie theater here, did all the Godfather movies, but she was a cinematographer on as well. And this was part of that too. So I kind of rushed to go see that. And I forgot too about like this movie, the opening with the George Gershwin Rhapsody in Blue music
Mm-hmm.
playing and like all
Hmm.
those big shots of the city. I mean, it's really hard to not love that. So I always think about that with this movie for sure. Um, the plot wise and the story and stuff is definitely not as great as Manhattan Murder Mystery or some of the other ones too. Which Joe Bear's
Right.
mom, that's one of his favorites, Manhattan Murder Mystery. She wanted to make sure I shout that out.
Wait, say
Um,
that again. I didn't hear that. What did you
that
say?
Manhattan Murder Mystery is one of Joe Bear's mom's favorites, right? One of the best ones.
See, that's why I'm just
You're
gonna
gonna
say
have to
that's
bump it
why.
up even the list even higher, so make sure she keeps listening. So we don't want to
Oh,
get to that one too soon now.
it's top 200 easily. I may even be top. No, it's top 100 Manhattan Murder Mystery for me. Anyway, so Joe Bear's mom's gonna have
Yeah,
to wait for those
yeah, it's all right. Uh,
in 2039 when we get there. Anyway,
yeah, but it is a good movie, and just the how beautiful the black and white is for the whole thing is pretty captivating. Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
I
this
can
is
see
one.
that.
I know every time we've talked about Woody, I've always said I'm hit or miss on Woody. I don't always love his stuff, and I haven't seen a lot of them. This was one I had not seen until recently as well. I knew it was on my list to see for a long time, never did. So impression is very fresh on this. And like
Hmm.
you guys both said, the look and the feel of New York that's what they'll see this movie for.
Yeah.
It looks
Yeah,
those opening scenes,
definitely.
like you said, Gordon Willis doing that is such an awesome. Yeah, the Godfather films, all the President's Men, all these other and he makes this look so amazing. And I don't always think of that when I think of Woody Allen films, is how they look, but this one
Yeah,
is so great. And it is a little, some of the story stuff is a little strange. I mean,
yeah.
not like we want to talk,
They
but like
brought
the
it up
stuff
in the
with,
doc. They brought it up in the Mia Farrow doc, this
because like
film.
Mariel Hemingway, who actually got a supporting actress nomination, she's a high schooler in this. So it, like they say, I'm dating a high schooler. I'm like, huh,
It's
I don't know how I feel
yeah.
about that. It's kind of icky,
Yes.
but it is what it is. I guess it's the movie. So it's, but the, and it's, I still laughed quite a bit in this one. It's still I could see why, especially at the time, I could see why it was a huge hit and people loved it. And like I said, nominated for Oscars. It won BAFTA Best Film. I mean, and I can totally see why. And the reason to watch it is just to watch how great it looks. It just looks amazing. But
Like
yeah,
Joe
otherwise I
Bear.
don't have a lot of,
Looks
yeah, exactly
amazing.
like Joe Bear. Yes.
What you
I
could do is
mean,
just put it on and watch the big opening, and then put on like a jazz record or something, and put it on mute, and just kind of vibe
Yes.
out to
oh, you
That's what
know
I would
Yeah.
do.
who's doing that tonight, right? Axel Foley. He's
Yeah,
heard you
that's
say
smart.
that. He goes, I'm doing
Yes.
that, Joe Bear.
Yes.
It's going to be a Patreon exclusive. Axel just sitting there listening to jazz, watching
Yeah,
Manhattan. We can make that
I
happen,
look at
guys.
drinking in Manhattan. Yeah.
Hey, drinking a
Um,
Manhattan. Oh, he might pass out.
It'll be a Virgin Manhattan. I don't know
Yeah,
how
he's
you'd
got to
make that,
train.
but
Axel would have to train hard for that
you're right for
Manhattan.
that. Speaking of Woody films solo, I think we talked about some
Mhm.
of the time. Was that you that said you'd still never seen Midnight in Paris?
Yes, I have not seen
You should
Midnight in
watch that. That's
Paris.
actually still one of my favorite Woody Allen films.
Yeah,
I really like that one too.
Midnight in
Great.
Paris, Blue Jasmine. I haven't seen.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Uh,
was less cool on that one, but Midnight in Paris I really
yeah,
loved.
yeah. Some of the newer ones I can't remember if I saw A Rainy Day in New York.
Well,
Um,
and he
I,
still cranks out like one or two a year,
yeah,
so
one
it's hard to keep up. But
I liked. What was the musical he did in the 90s? Everyone Says I Love You,
oh yeah, with Drew
yeah.
Barrymore and
and Julia Roberts, and
yep.
yeah, like I saw that in the theater at Syracuse, and I actually liked, because
Hmm.
I was right then. I think I had seen Manhattan not too, but it was kind of during that time, and I don't know. That's when we had a little musical bump. Evita,
Oh
that one.
yeah.
There was a couple of musicals that,
Yep.
And
uh,
start singing again.
yeah. Oh no, no,
Give you a
yeah.
musical.
You keep going back to the musical, so you just want to sing tonight, I
Yeah.
think.
You know, in Manhattan, Woody Allen sleeping with 60. Okay, anyway,
All right, 7-9.
And
that's getting cut from the play, the
what's
musical.
next?
All right, we done with Manhattan. We're done
Yeah.
with Manhattan. All right, go see it. Is that what we should say every time? Go see it.
Yes,
I don't know.
go see it.
No, visually, it's a stunning film. Okay, I'm excited to talk about this one because we've been on the little text chain we had.
Yeah.
We've been kind of talking about it, and man, this film. All right, coming in at 790. James Hoyt and Kristen McKay visit an isolated vacation home to enjoy some time together, guys. However, they are in for a rude surprise when three masked assailants make their stay a nightmare. No, this isn't Joe Bear's dorm room. It is The Strangers. I don't know what the hell that meant, but it sounded, whatever.
Yeah, I'll do some kind of
The
callback to it later. It'll be
Strangers.
worth it.
Released on May 30th, 2008, made 53 million on a $9 million budget. Opened at number 3 at the box office, behind Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and The Sex and the City, the movie. This is the first film in the Strangers franchise. There have been 3 released. The fourth comes out in a month and a half, and the fifth comes out next year. I didn't even know there was 5 of these films.
I
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah.
I thought this was the only one. I didn't
Yeah,
even know
I
there's
had no
sequels.
idea till I was looking at stuff.
Yeah, I think one just came out like 2 months ago, right?
Okay. Oh,
And then
maybe
there's
I had my
another.
date wrong. Okay, yeah.
I,
Or
I don't
well, I
know.
know
I
it's
think they're a
recent.
weird prequel.
Ando, you're
Yeah.
producing.
Well,
What's going
this
on?
is why this is confusing. So the one that
That
Don't
comes
may not be
out,
snowball?
true. I don't know.
The one that comes out in September is called The Strangers Chapter 2, and it's the fourth film in the franchise. So, I mean, it's very confusing
Yeah.
on this one.
They must have did
Um,
a prequel and a sequel or
I think
something.
so,
Yeah.
yeah. And well, Chapter 1 probably just came out recently. That's
I
probably
think
what
it
you're
was like
thinking of.
April or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. This one was written and directed by Brian Bertino, starring Scott Speedman as James Hoyt, Liv Taylor as Kristen McKay, Gemma Ward as Dollface, Kip Weeks as Man in Mask, Laura Margolis as Pinup Girl, and Glenn Howerton as Mike. Solo, The Strangers, or as I call this, Jump Scare the movie.
I thought Dollface was. I thought Heath played Dollface in this. No.
I did. And then,
Okay.
and then I got fired
What the
because anyway,
hell?
because I wouldn't sign on for chapters 1 through 12.
Well,
And I
yeah,
should have. I
yeah,
should have. Now that I think about it, I should have.
exactly
My
right.
God, the
No.
2010s would have been a great run. Anyway. So I I do have an obsession. One of my obsessions is one location, people are trapped trying to get out, or people are in there not letting, don't want people to get in. I love it. Um, and this one, I know Andy calls it jump scare the movie, but it got me. It got me, and it takes a lot to get
Did you
me.
see this in the theater?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
had
main question I wanted to ask
had a
about this.
blast, and then watched it again on, at home, alone in the dark, and it still scared me. Um, the big thing, first of all, I don't want to spoil the ending, but I love the ending. I don't know if you guys loved the ending. I didn't expect that ending to happen. So I think that's why it really stuck with me. But just them appearing like in the background, you see the foreground, and I'm just like, it was like in the theater. I felt like I was watching Hand That Rocks the Cradle again, guys, when I was in high school. Anyway, I just was like, I was twisted and turning, and I was just like, but the main thing that got me with this film is I'm like, this could freaking happen. And I think it's based on true events or something. Maybe
Oh,
not.
that I'm
Maybe
not
not.
sure.
I'm sure something similar has happened. Uh, but like it it freaked me out, man. But I kind of dug it. I dug it. Like what did Tim McGraw say? I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. All
Well,
right,
the good
stay
news
easy.
is there's going to be four more of these now after next year, so you're going to
Yeah,
get plenty of more strangers.
you know,
Yeah, we'll be best friends by then.
I think I think I think I don't know if I'm gonna watch them.
Yeah,
Maybe
I saw the
eventually.
trailer.
You know what I mean? Like I really like this film. I'm afraid to go on. Like
Well,
actually, like I liked the first Purge, but I think I liked the second or third one even more because when I first saw the Purge, I liked it because again, isolated one place, but I wanted to see more, and then they did that. But I don't know what the strangers are doing if three strangers are popping up every house or whatever. But now that I know they're out there, there could be some late night Tubi, uh, maybe.
yeah, I feel like with the prequels, it's kind of like one of the things that actually makes this movie stand out or feel like it's worth watching is how little we find out about who the strangers are, right? Like, so if we get
Yeah.
a sympathetic backstory about like, oh, this is why I'm Dollface, like this movie will just feel kind of like a pretty flat. I think that in this the way that even towards the end, without giving away the ending, but like there's not exactly a part where they take off their mask and give a speech about why they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah, you barely
Which
even
it feels
see
like,
it.
You were
yeah,
home. You were home.
Yeah.
yeah, right.
That's
Yeah,
So
a
that,
that line
talk
is great.
about mother.
yeah,
Now I'm
um,
waiting because Ando, I know there's a movie you don't like, and I'm like
yeah.
waiting to see
I can
which
see
one.
if this is it.
This is it.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I did not because I just watched it a couple nights ago when we were texting about it, and there was things I liked. Like you said, them not really revealing who these people were. I loved that. I love that line because you were home, or it'll be easier next time. I mean, I loved some of those lines, but it felt to me like it should have been an episode of Twilight Zone because for that first hour and 10 minutes, it's literally just people popping up in the background with the music going. to making you. That's why I'm like,
Yeah.
I could see if you were in a theater and you're completely sort kind of like I talked when we talked Blair Witch few pods ago. Being in
Right,
a
right.
theater, I can see this being an amazing experience. But
Yeah.
I was, and
Just not.
it's
Yeah.
it's one of those ones too. It's not like the filmmaking was bad or anything. It's definitely good filmmaking, but I was kind of bored with it. I thought it didn't. I said too many jump scares, and part of it might have been because takes place in a farmhouse. I grew up in a farmhouse. I know what that stuff is like too. So that it was like one of the when Scott Speedman goes out to the shed to try and find stuff, and you see all this like you see a fan and you see a hockey stick and a what a pile of magazines. We have a shed like that at my farm. I mean, we're just all this random crap in it. So I like some of that stuff, but and I
Right.
love one location things. That's I don't something about it just wasn't. And maybe it's because I was sitting at watching in my office here with the light on and had the volume down a little bit. I mean,
You don't have to make this is the film list. It's a safe place.
I
If
didn't.
you didn't click with you now, I could see this movie. Say it came out in the '80s and we were like 12 watching
Yeah.
this. It would be like we would be freaking out.
Hmm.
So watching it in 2025 for the first time, I mean, you
Well,
really have to set the tone to get lost in a film nowadays. I mean,
yeah.
aside of some of these great films that just suck you in, but like it, there's movies I've watched, and like you said, Ando, just kind of doing stuff, watching like, oh, this sucks. And then years later, I'll turn it on, shut the lights off, and I'm like, is this the same movie I watched? Not
It's
saying this would happen for you, but it is funny how certain movies I didn't like, I watched them under different circumstances and I
yeah. Well,
liked them. It's
and that,
weird.
that's why I
It's
asked you
weird.
the thing in the theater because for sure it would be a different experience with
Yeah.
you. And looking at my stuff here too, there was a couple other things I did like. What happens with Glenn Howerton's character genuinely surprised me. I did not see that coming. If you guys remember what that is, I don't know if I want to spoil it just in case, but and I like that for a long time I thought Scott Speedman was going to be in on it. Just well, how they set it up at the beginning and the fact that he's
Oh,
not. So there was it wasn't like
yeah.
I shouldn't say I hated it, but I was a little more disappointed and I thought it was a little too like say jump scare too reliant on jump
Jump
scares.
scared the movie.
Well, because like a lot of it when I'm
No, but
watching with my
you're
volume down, you don't get that. So
yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
okay,
I'm still glad
Ando.
I watched it, but
Ando, you
yeah.
got a lot of street cred with me. I'm sorry, because there is more movies that you do watch and you're glad you watched it versus I mean, I don't
Oh
know what
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
tally is right now, but you
Well, and
know,
I'm still I don't regret watching this. It's not like I'm like, oh, I just wasted 90 minutes. It was another nice
oh
short
yeah, it's
film.
90
That's what I
minutes.
like
Yeah,
enjoyed that too. I like some of these short
yeah.
ones. So it just didn't quite work for me. But it's like I said, I'm still glad I watched this one. This was not
All
one of
right.
those why the hell is he making me watch this piece of shit? It wasn't like
Well,
that.
then you
So
don't. But Ando, you don't have to. If you're halfway through a movie like this is shit, this is a solo shit,
well,
you just say, I'm done. I'm not
it's
gonna
still one of those
pressure you.
ones I'm going to watch to the end because it's still there was enough interesting stuff going on that it was
Yeah.
say
Yeah,
it just wasn't one of my favorites.
Joe Bear, do you have I guess I don't know if it's I rarely have done it, maybe once or twice in my life. Probably, like I say, when I'm around the film school time where I was criticizing everything. Have you ever like because normally like me and my wife, we just want to stick it out. Now, a TV show we may stop, but a movie we're gonna see it to the end. Have you ever do you remember the last time you watched a film like, "Oh, I'm done. I'm not
I,
watching this."
yeah, usually like I take so much indecision that I have to conquer to just decide what I'm going to watch. That by the time I get there, it's something I feel like it's worth the investment. But I will say there's that. So usually I do finish stuff through, and like I wouldn't like walk out of the movie. I don't think I can remember doing that. But I definitely have done things where I start watching it late at night and then I fall asleep and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go back and watch the last like 20 minutes of that, and then I
Hmm.
don't. So
Never
there
do
might be
it.
those kind of situations.
Yeah.
But I try to finish it out, especially if I've gotten like halfway through, or like something like this where it's 90 minutes. Especially, I have a more grace for horror movies because I kind of know going into it that a good chunk of it might not be that best thing, but like it's worth it for the thrills and stuff along the way. Um,
That's
this one
actually
I
kind of
can,
how I am with sci-fi, where if it's sci-fi, I will watch out
yeah,
to the end, even just because I love sci-fi. So I get well, sorry, I cut you off there. Continue.
no, that's okay. Um,
You
I
just
was
heard a
just gonna give
storm.
my it's okay, I'll do it. The
Fuck you,
I can
Ando.
remember when I watched this for the first time after it came out. I think I watched it on DVD or something. So But it was definitely one that had a reputation as being like really messed up and a scary one. And I think for me, like I'll watch any horror that's like body horror, monster and stuff, but things like where it's just real people like doing violence to other real people, I feel like it's kind of becomes the scarier thing.
Yeah.
Like you said, because it's basically like you're home alone and someone's it's a home invasion movie, so
Yeah.
that's scary. And I think when we were
What's
texting about it, yeah,
yeah, what was the home invasion movie that we were taking?
funny games,
Yeah.
Funny
See,
right?
games. Yeah.
Funny Games, that freaked me out. Like that won't be in my list just because I'll never watch it
Yeah,
again. And
right.
I've seen both. And
Hmm.
Funny Games to me, I mean, this one, I guess because it's more the horror genre. I guess that Funny Games is kind of a horror, but it's more of a thriller, I guess you would say.
I mean, this one's kind of a thrill. I actually was expecting
Yeah,
this to be
horror
more of
thriller.
a because I knew people that had liked it. I knew people that said it was messed up, but I was expecting to be more of the almost supernaturally Michael Myers or something like that. So I was actually
Right.
surprised that it was a home invasion. I like that part of it because I usually
Home
love home
invasion,
invasion
man,
films.
they freak me
There's
out.
yeah, they're scary for sure.
There's because it feels so real. Like Funny Games feel so real. This one to me, I
Yeah,
know it just at the time it was just like you start thinking about it, and you're like, what if, three masked people showed up and, I'd be like, I'm getting the gun and I'm blowing them away and then I'll take my chances with,
You know,
no,
when you that was an interesting question you asked, Sol, and I don't think it's ever come up on this. Have you ever walked out of a movie or quit on something on a movie?
I did. I mean, I've quit on, I can't remember. I know the Joe Bear thing where I'm just like exhausted. I'm like, I'll finish this later. I don't
Yeah.
consider that a walking out.
That's not the same thing as quitting.
No,
That's
a movie that I actually liked more now that I recently watched like about a year ago that I walked out was Ghost in the Darkness.
the Scarlett Johansson. Oh no, Ghost in the
No,
Darkness.
no,
The
the Michael
Michael
Douglas, Val
Douglas?
Kilmer.
Really?
So it was
I
a critical.
love that.
Yeah, no, I like that movie now,
Yeah.
but it was during the time where it was like, oh, this is cheesy. It's trying to be Jaws. And
Yep.
when Michael Douglas pops in and gives a big monologue, I'm like, that's when I left. But it was my a friend of mine walked out on it like a week before, so I think I was just like, he's right, I'm out. Like to be not to be
Because that
cruel,
was
but
what, late mid 90s probably? I think
95,
I saw that in high
96.
school maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, but I shouldn't have walked out. No, the other one, okay, about Schmidt. I I missed the Kathy
Kathy Bates thing.
Bates scene. At least should have stayed for that. But yeah, about Schmidt was the last movie I walked out on. And the only other time I walked out on a movie, it's because this guy, I was with my girlfriend at the time, and this guy was falling asleep, snoring, bumping into her, and
Oh, well.
that was a Starsky and Hutch. We went to see, and that's when I was like, Let's just go. This guy's annoying."
I mean environmental things, oh that's different. There's only one time that I almost walk out of a movie, and every time I tell people this story, they're like, "Are you kidding? Why that movie?" Fargo, the Coen Brothers Fargo. I almost walked out of, and it's because, as everyone knows, I'm from Minnesota. And in my part of
Is that
Minnesota, they
true?
don't speak with these, don't you know, you bet,
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah.
People don't talk like that in my part of Minnesota. And me and my buddy that went to it in the theater were like, they're making fun of Minnesotans. Little did we know at the time the Coen brothers are from Minnesota. I mean, that's kind of their thing. So it's a movie now that I like, but I just hate. We stuck it out because I'm like, no, it's gonna get good. It's gonna get good. And I remember leaving, and we were just so pissed off and mad because of the accents we thought we were
Um,
being made fun of. So I enjoy it now, but yeah, Fargo was the only time I almost walked out of a theater. So
yeah, I
fun
guess
story.
about Schmidt. I just remembered that about Schmidt.
That's that's funny. Yeah,
Uh,
I haven't thought about that movie in a long time.
yeah, and let's stop
Okay.
right
Well,
now.
we
um,
can go back to another movie that's won a lot of awards and is
One of our
very
was
popular.
is a very popular and a classic, and you'll be
Yes.
shocked when I saw this film for the first time. So coming in at 789, that's 789 if you're scoring at home. Harry and Sally have known each other for years and are very good friends, but they fear sex would ruin their friendship. Bing, bing, bing. So what happened when Harry met Sally?
This had a limited release July 14th, 1989, and a full release July 21st, 1989. Huge hit, made 93 million on a $16 million budget. Opened at number three behind the third weekend of Lethal Weapon 2 and the fifth weekend of Tim Burton's Batman. This is the first film directed by Rob Reiner to make the film list. And I gotta every time we talk about Rob Reiner because I don't think we're going to be doing it again for quite a while. I know there's some stuff a long ways from now, but the run he had is so underrated. 84, This Is Spinal Tap. 85, The Sure Thing. 86, Stand By Me. 87, Princess Bride. 89, this film. 90, Misery, and 92, A Few Good Men. I think I would put that lineup against any director's 10-year period ever. That's just a crazy, crazy amount of films that were
That
amazing.
is
This is written by Nora Ephron, starring Billy Crystal as Harry Burns, Meg Ryan as Sally Albright, Carrie Fisher as Marie, Bruno Kirby as Jess, Lisa Jane Persky as Alice, and Stephen Ford as Joe.
fair.
When
No,
when
that's
Harry met when Harry met Sally solo.
all right. So, of course, this came out. Joe Bear wasn't even, I don't even think even born. Ando, you
No,
were probably playing with Tonka trunks.
Oh,
Um,
I was 12, so
okay.
I
What
was
year
two
was it again?
or
So,
89.
okay,
Summer of
so
89. Yep.
I'm 14. Wasn't a film I was interested in
No.
seeing. I mean, let's break it down. I knew it was a big hit, pretty cool, but 14, I
That's
didn't.
why I mentioned Batman in that because I guarantee I was at Batman for like
Yeah,
the
I
fifth
was.
time as
Yeah,
opposed to seeing
exactly.
this in a theater.
So, I mean, I've seen the great orgasm scene at the restaurant. I'll have what she's having, which is that Billy Crystal's mom or is that someone's mom? Or
Rob Reiner's mom, I
Rob
think.
Reiner's. Yeah. So I saw clips, knew it was a good film, didn't watch it until 2 years ago. It was the first time I'd seen this film.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 years ago. It was one of those films
Well, you're
that,
not a big comedy guy either, though, really, are
you
you?
know,
I
I
mean,
do
you like
like,
them,
I
but you're
like
not.
comedies, but they're not my first choice for whatever
Yeah.
reason. Um, so I saw it and I'm like, it holds up. I'm like, the writing is freaking awesome. I love the concept. It was just, I couldn't get over in 2023 when I first saw it at home. I'm like, this movie, I mean, because a lot of times you watch an 80s movie and you're like, okay, it's an 80s movie. You know,
This is timeless.
this one is.
Hmm.
And I was blown away. Like, had I seen it years ago, I think it would be much higher on the list because as far as romantic comedies go, this is one of the better ones. Like again, if we're doing a film list of the best movies of all time, this is very high. Favorite, I just saw it 2 years ago. Now, sometimes, like I said, sometimes movies will jump in because we got one coming up in a couple that um on September 5th. Wait a minute. What did I spoil? That I freaking love. And like Saturday night, but this one would definitely would have been higher had I just it just was one of those films where I wasn't of the age and then I never got to it. But I knew it was on that your own blacklist that you're like,
Hmm.
eventually I'm
Yeah.
gonna watch. That's a movie I'm gonna watch. Because my friend Glenn one time, I don't think he ever did it, but he goes, you know what I want to do? I want to watch every Oscar winner from day one to because
Yep.
we were thinking about doing
I
a
had a
pod
period.
about that.
I had a period of my life where I did that same thing.
Yeah. So I never did that, but I have the list of I got to see that movie. And over the last few years, as we rebranded the film list and have started the pod, um, as Alexander Bogarts evidently hits a home run. I got a fantasy update. Anyway, um,
Yeah, because I'm playing you. I need all the help I can get.
well,
Hit like three more of those, Xander.
different league,
Oh,
speaking of
okay.
different league.
Bogart,
Yeah, speaking of Bogart,
Yes.
um, which I was influenced to change that Treasure of the Sierra Madre was changed big time because I made a mistake. Anyway, so uh, I was about to mention the next film. Well, I don't know why I'm doing, but no, uh, this film just is damn good and it's very clever and fantastic. Who wants to go first or second? I guess I just went first for
Joe,
like
go
three
ahead.
hours.
all right. Yeah, we just watched this the other night. It's not a movie I've seen a lot. I think the first time I watched it was maybe like 10 years ago because it was just one that I knew that I should watch. And I think because it's so those certain scenes are so like well known in every movie montage you ever see, you kind of feel like you've seen it even if you haven't
Yeah,
seen it.
yeah.
But then you watch it and it really is just so good. I think it's like it doesn't feel dated at all, like you guys were saying. In a certain way, because the movie itself jumps forward in time and like it actually starts like 10 years back or 8 years back or something. It's sort of doing its own little period, mini period piece just like 10 years ago. which then makes like the changing of the outfits and stuff feels like they are aware that they're like within a style of those years. So
Right.
watching it now, it doesn't really feel dated like that. It feels like something they could put out now. I think it's also as like a you kind of expect like, oh, it's like a classic one of the like temple romantic comedies. It's gonna be really corny or something. It's not like kind of not at all. Like there's definitely like really heartfelt moments, but there's not like a huge swell with like everybody, like what you might think from like a romantic comedy staple. I think part of that too is the way that they tell like it's a love story of these two people over such a big chunk of time, and their connection comes out of like their failed relationships that are going parallel to each other. Whereas like other movies you see like somebody meets somebody on act one, they fall in love. By act three, it's like they're saving the world or they're saving this person they just met. Whereas this is like a 10-year period and these two people having all kinds of things that didn't work out the way they thought they were going to work out and kind of bouncing off each other and then coming together in that way. And that feels much more realistic and much more, it does kind of feel like the kind of movie you might see from Woody Allen or something like that, just a relationship movie that also
Yeah.
has the other ones of like the city. And I mean, there's this definitely a great like fall, autumn leaves walking through Central Park movie as well. Like that's one of the things I always think about with
And
this.
even Billy Crystal in this is a lot. I never thought of it like a Woody Allen film, but Billy Crystal even is channeling Woody Allen in a lot of this
Yeah.
film, I think, for
It is
Yeah.
sure.
very funny, right? Yeah. He's like
Yes,
a
very much. Yeah, this I had seen this a couple I don't remember the first time I saw this, probably 20, 25 years ago, something like that. I know I watched it again when my wife and I were dating, and that was the last time I'd seen it until and that'd been like 17, 18 years ago. And last night when I was going to bed, I'm like, I should throw it on for a few minutes just to refresh myself because it had been so long since I'd seen it. So I threw it on at like 12 o'clock at night, and I ended up watching the whole damn thing. This this film is a freaking
This
masterpiece.
was
It is.
after you watched Strangers for the second time and Reindeer Games, right?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
and listen to the director's commentaries and just broke down Strangers for 5, 6 hours. No,
Okay. Okay.
when Harry Met Sally is a masterpiece. There's a reason why when it's kind of like one of those things like The Godfather. When you see this, people say it as it's the best rom-com of all time. It's the best rom-com. Well,
Wait,
I
The
shouldn't say that.
Godfather's the best rom-com of
Well,
all
no,
time?
but you know what I mean. Like a
I
lot
know
of
what you
people
mean.
will,
I know.
and a lot of people won't watch it because they'll be like, "Oh, it's just an old stale whatever," and people will say the same thing about this film. This film holds up. It's
Yeah.
awesome. Carrie Fisher, but all the leads, Carrie Fisher and Bruno Kirby. I want to see a movie about those two characters too. They're
Right.
so good in this too.
I'm surprised. I mean, Carrie Fisher, probably, but like, I was surprised that wasn't a series like that was
Yes,
talked about or a pilot was shot, you know?
it's so good. So yeah, I loved this film, and I need to go check on my dog because he is barking it like crazy.
All right.
So
Let's, you
fill
do a
some
quick
air.
pause.
Sure. Let's do a quick
Yeah, let's do
pause.
a quick pause because I gotta get more drinks and hit the head. Is that
okay.
cool, Joe?
Perfect.
Yeah, sounds good.
Let's
Yeah.
Okay. We'll
let's
do a
pause.
couple minutes.
Do I need
Yep.
to do anything or just let it run?
No, just you
Nope.
stay on the Zoom.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Just don't close your Zoom.
Okay.
We'll just
Okay.
leave the YouTube feed go dark for a few minutes.
Yeah. Hey, YouTube feed. James, do something. All right. Those of you not watching on the YouTube took a little break because Ando's dogs were barking. Joe Bear had to scare someone into submission. I had to refuel on my, yes, my liquids. Hi, Axel, if you're listening. I don't know if you are, but if you are, hi, Axel. Axel Foley, what you do? So it's interesting, these films. These next couple, it'll be interesting to see what the boys think. We have coming up Tom Cruise movie, Andrew McCarthy, Matt Dillon movie, and Idris Elba. Speaking of Idris Elba, what's up, Idris? I was saying, speaking of Idris Elba, and you popped in my screen.
Is that me? Idris Elba?
Idris, Joe Bear, Elba, I don't even know, Jessica Alba. Uh, you know what's funny is because there's a lot of like newer films that I'm like, it's tough because when you're already in the 700s, you're like, man, if a movie's not a Quentin Tarantino movie that blows me away, I'm like, how do I put a new film in? Because I was having difficulty with Sinners. I really like Sinners,
Yeah.
but I'm like, I'm real because I looked ahead in my whole. I've been working on this list forever, and I only have a certain amount of slots left because I have certain movies set aside. I'm going to rewatch to see if they're still. So I want to put like everything in, and then I'm like, I better hold off because I got to make sure I have enough room
Yeah.
for a
It's
lot of
such a
these
big list.
films.
It takes so long to get through, right? That
Yeah,
all that stuff. I don't
yeah.
know how you put it together.
It's just I've been working on this for like over 10 years, you know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's not something I just sat down with. So
Yeah.
yeah. All good in the hood, Ando.
Yep, I am ready to rock. My dog was barking at a shadow outside, I think. So,
Okay, I'll just gonna right now in the pod just do a little ad break kind of thing, and then we can
okay,
finish off Harry and Sally.
okay. Are you guys ready? I will hit the record button again.
And remember, you can go to dvrpodcast.com for all your favorite shows we cover. Mayor of Kingstown, Mindhunter. There's all, I mean, I just heard like someone, I was listening to a pod and it was like, actually, it was Bill Simmons' pod and Jacko was on, his buddy Jack, and was like, oh, I just watched Mindhunter like for the first time. And I'm like, go listen to the pod. And I don't know if he heard me while I was listening to him later, but Jacko, go listen to our Mindhunter pod. Um, and also, if you can, leave a review, give us, some stars. The Film List also has our own feed, as well as we're part of the DVR Podcasting Network, Daily DVR, and Patreon, of course. But we do have a Film List feed with an awesome cut. Every time I look at it, I'm like, Ando, that was good.
I do like.
Uh,
I was thinking about getting some cups or some T-shirts or something made up with that logo. It's
Oh, I
pretty
need some
cool.
daily DVR merch.
yeah, we need
Yeah,
some DVR
that's kind of
merch
what I was
for Joe
thinking too.
Bear.
I
All
need it.
right. It could be in the works once our annuity kicks in or our help from the president.
Well, and you know what? When we have our annual Daily DVR summit here in a month, maybe
Of the
we'll discuss
summit,
some of
yes,
it.
the summit, the DVR summit. So, all right. So, do we want anything else with Harry and Sally and Molly?
That it's just amazing. The few little notes I had, Tom Hanks, Albert Brooks both declined the role of Harry for this,
Hmm.
which I'm sure they both would have killed it, but Billy Crystal was so amazing in this. Susan Day and Molly Ringwald declined the role of Sally as well. They also would have been, I think, interesting. I think, but this is perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect casting. I mean,
Yeah,
it's one of those. And the other thing I was thinking about, because while I was on that break there, I was thinking more about it, and it's a film that I think it actually, not because of the actual time it is, but I think it improves the older you get. Like when I first watched this, I was probably 25, where, and now I'm in 47, and you've lived more life, and it's one of those films that when you've been through the dating world and you've been through all this, I think I'm going to appreciate it even more when I get older. And that's one of the things.
yeah,
Like In this film, they intersperse older married couples, which a lot of times that would come off as cheesy. And this thing, it works perfectly. Kind of like what they do with, I think Reds did that with Warren Beatty, didn't it? That same type of thing where they added people in every so often to give little interviews and stuff. It's just I thought that worked brilliantly in this as well. I just huge fan of this. It's one I'm going to go back to watch again now that I watched it again recently because it's just a great film.
Well, it's interesting how uh we got Sleepless in Seattle with Hanks and Meg Ryan, and of course you got shit Mail. Um Sleepless in Seattle, Rob Reiner? Or
No,
no?
that's Nora. I think that's Nora Ephron who wrote this film. I
Ah,
think she directed that one, I believe.
Nora. I think you're right.
This was the first film that she wrote. Is that right?
I
Or
think it's one of her first ones, I believe. Yeah, if it's, I don't remember if it's the
Jesus.
actual first, but I think it's close. And the character of Meg Ryan's character, Sally, is based on her, and Harry's character is based on Rob Reiner. They kind of helped write it together a little bit, and like some of the things, like the way she orders her food, like that's just the way I want it. That's like a line directly from Nora Ephron that she didn't write, but somebody saw her that on the film, on the film set, and they incorporated it into the film and stuff like that. So,
Oh,
very
wow.
personal film for the writers and directors of this as well, from what I've been able to tell. So,
No, it's a
great
great
film.
one. It's a great one. All right. I think
speaking of great ones,
what
yeah,
we're gonna do is we're in modern day New York City, and now we're gonna go a little distant backwards. Um, I thought this was gonna be the movie that Ando hated, but
No,
all
I don't.
right.
I don't. I can't hate this film.
Okay, okay. All right. A young Irish couple flee to the States, but subsequently struggle to obtain land and prosper freely. The film, Far and Away. I think I went, yeah, I stayed Irish. I sometimes I go Scottish. Yeah,
you
but anyway.
started Scottish, and then I think
Oh, okay, is that
became
what
more
happened? Yeah,
Irish.
I had
Yeah.
to get going to do the Irish. All
You
right.
know, that's all right because some of the actors in this, the accents go in and out a little bit
Yeah, it's
anyways.
perfect. Yeah.
Like the
Perfect.
when I was reading about some of this, like there's I guess there's some places in Ireland where they actually watch this as a comedy because they don't
Yeah.
say that they're speaking Irish, they say that they're speaking Irish, which
Irish.
which I thought was kind of funny. This was released on May 22nd, 1992, made 58 million on a $60 million budget. Um, just because this is a very unique set of films. The top five of that week. Number five was the 10th weekend. First of all, I can't imagine a film being in theaters for 10 weeks anymore. That just doesn't happen.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
Of Basic Instinct. Number four was the debut of the Pauly Shore masterpiece Encino Man. Number three was this film, the debut. Number two was the debut of Bald Sigourney Weaver in Alien 3, and Lethal Weapon 3 was number one. So just a very different time in movies
Yeah,
in that
interesting.
time frame. Yes, this was the second film directed by Ron Howard to make the film list. Number 886, Cinderella Man was the first, written by Bob Dolman, excuse me, who previous to this, SCTV and Willow were really the only things he really has written. So a very big change from those things. This is the fifth Tom Cruise film to make the film list. This was
Oh,
also released 7 months before A Few Good Men, so the same year, just to put yourself in that time, as Joseph Donnelly.
Yeah.
Nicole Kidman as Shannon Christie, her second consecutive film that she starred with Tom Cruise in, like in her filmography. Thomas Gibson as Stephen Chase, Robert Prosky as Daniel Christie, Cole Meany as Kelly, Jared Harris as Patty, Brendan Gleeson as Social Club Policeman, and Clint Howard as
of
Flynn.
course. Of course, Clint Howard.
Hey, Clint's always there. Let's talk some TC.
All right.
So,
Far and Away. Now, this has got to be one of the first films in my youth that totally I liked, that totally went against um what I was liking at the time. Uh Now when I first saw it, I can't remember, it's funny. I don't think I saw it in the theater. I might have, but I don't think I did. I think I rented it when it came out. And at first I was like, okay, this is okay, but I was such a big Cruise fan that like I definitely liked it a lot more because Cruise was in it, and I was like, oh yeah, his accent not that great, but it's Tom Cruise and he's trying, he's trying to do an accent. So this is definitely in my heyday of Tom Cruise, and I actually enjoy this film. It's immigrants coming over and trying to start anew, and the big land, claiming your land. Uh, I like that Tom Cruise was boxing in it. I think there's a better movie with Daniel Day-Lewis that will come later on the film list that I really like. Um, but no, this one was, came out when I was in high school, and it kind of was in my Tom Cruise run, and I've seen it a bunch of times. And, I was a big Tom and Nicole when I read those uh, magazines of relationship. Like I had to know, like, oh, Tom and Nicole, they're the greatest
You're reading
couple
Us
ever.
Weekly and things
Yeah,
like that?
totally. Premiere, Us Weekly, and In Touch. No, I don't think I watch anything In Touch. I don't even. But so yeah, the little I don't know. I thought Ron did a good job directing it, and it was during the prime of Cruise and Kidman. That relationship
Mm-hmm.
after Days of Thunder, of course, and
Mm-hmm.
Nicole was starting to become a star.
Yeah, this was
If
when she was really on the upswing right here
Yeah,
for her, for
yeah.
sure.
So this is a movie, one of those movies that I really like in my heart, and I just had to get it on here because I dig Far and Away, even though a lot of people will like keep that Far and Away from me. Um,
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate because anytime it comes up, all people want to talk about is the accents. But if you
yeah,
can just get past that, I think it's a really fun movie. I really like this movie too. Um I feel like the last time I watched it a couple years ago was like St. Patrick's Day after eating a bunch of corned beef and cabbage and just like sitting on the couch and watching. Yeah, it's a very good like afternoon movie. Um,
yes, it goes in the
and
Uh-huh.
afternoon club.
the journey of it is really fun. Like going from Ireland to New York and then like to the to West. And like there's parts of it that are definitely like just kind of corny and goofy, but it's kind of like has a sort of suspension of disbelief. It's almost like a fantasy kind of like world in that sense, where you're like,
Definitely.
okay, these people aren't Irish or whatever, but like we're just following the story, and there's a lot of kind of magical little moments of them. Like it's supposed to be a feel good kind of movie for like the time, right? So, and that like end scene where they're taking the flags, I think, and like racing to claim the land. I remember that. Like by the time you get to
Yeah.
there in the movie, like you're kind of sold on it. Um, so I think it is. I think it is fun. So it is
Yeah,
like an American St. Patrick's Day parade where it's like, yeah, this is kind of Irish, or like it feels like it. The music's
this
right.
this is one I hadn't watched in a very, very long time. I know the last time we recorded Solo, I said before we did this pod, I wanted to rewatch Far and Away because it had been a very long time. I mean, it had been at least 20 years since I've seen this. And all I could remember was that it was something about Tom and Nicole coming to America, and I didn't remember anything. I didn't remember the land rush
That
stuff.
was
Didn't
the original title, Tom and Nicole Come Into America,
yeah.
and I think Eddie was gonna play their
Well,
cousin.
the only thing I really remembered about this was that this was one of the first times where I kind of understood that the Oscars were a really big thing and certain films were made to try and make Oscars. And that was my
Mm.
impression in my head was always that this was a film, people trying to win Oscars, and it didn't happen, so everybody slammed the hell out of it. That's what I
Yeah, that's
remembered
a
about
good.
this.
Yeah, because
And
you. Yeah.
so I was going in expecting to be like, oh, this is probably going to be one of those, for lack of a better term, the Oscar bait movies that don't turn out. So I'm like, I'm still gonna watch. And this is not really that movie at all. I'm surprised how funny it is, and almost like I'm not sure if it's intentionally funny or not, but either way it works. It's a little goofy on times and corny, but I really liked it. And that Oklahoma land rush scene is awesome. That scene
Yeah.
is really, really, it's shot in widescreen. And when you watch it, kind of like when on our last pod solo, we talked about Ocean's 11, and Axel texted us and said, I love that movie. The production, when you think about what they did and all that, if you think it,
1960 Ocean's.
yeah, 1960. And if you think about watching this thing, and there's hundreds of horses and extras and wagons and
Hmm.
people shooting guns in
Yeah.
the all on the one screen at the same time, and I'm watching them like, holy shit, this is amazing. This for that time, I mean, it was almost like they were trying to do a Dances with Wolves kind of thing, and it didn't quite because this was right after, not long after Dances with
Right.
Wolves,
Right.
a couple of years. So I'm sure that's what they were trying to go for. But take it a separate from that. I thought that the last half an hour I think is really great of this. It's worth watching the movie just for that. Even to get through some of the other goofy stuff and them living in the brothel and oh she's my sister and all this.
Yeah.
It's super silly. I'm like, oh boy, but
Yeah.
getting to that last 20 minutes, it's one of the better things Ron Howard has done is that last 15 20 minutes. Just the action is great, the and that sequence alone. So if anybody hasn't watched it or doesn't want to watch because of reputation, it's worth watching for that scene all by itself.
There's a scene. I think when they were part of it was like snowing,
Hmm.
and they're
Yeah.
like that I remember visually loving. I mean, I was just like taken
Yeah.
aback a little bit, just the feel of that.
Yeah, that was right after they get like they break into that house because they're looking for some place, or right around that time they break into a
Yes,
house to try and get shelter, and
shelter.
the house owner comes home and everything. Yeah,
Yeah, like, and then of course I get a kick out of when Cruz is out and they got the bowl on his private area and she's like
yes,
peeking. Like,
yes.
it was just the little funny innocence.
Well, and
I just thought it was kind of funny.
some of the stuff with the acting too. Some of the acting is really excellent. Like Cole Meany, Jared Harris, Brendan Gleeson, they are all awesome.
Oh,
But
that's
they
the
all have these small,
trio.
and it makes Cruz and Kidman's accents worse by them being on there. Like we got
Yeah,
these guys are amazing, and then you hear Tom Cruise, and I'm like, oh Tom,
yeah.
please, no.
You know, it's
But
funny because Tom took some chances. Like Far and Away was a chance, and then Interview with the Vampire.
hmm
That was a big like. And then we know the controversy with that. We talked about it on the film list.
yes,
Um, but it was just like, I don't know. I mean, Cruise was on this run, and to do a movie like this, I kind of, it was like, oh, okay. Like you said, maybe I think they did think this could be an Oscar
I'm,
type
I'm sure
movie.
they thought I'm sure they thought that at the time because, I mean, it wasn't long after this when Ron Howard was making Apollo 13 and these other ones that are much more
Yeah,
prestigious type or hoping to be prestigious. So I'm
right.
guessing that was kind of his goal was to get to that area and
I
just I mean
mean,
historical type of not a biopic but kind of that
right.
feel to
Yeah,
it. So yeah, I was
definitely.
pleasantly
Yeah.
surprised with this one when I rewatched it.
It's a
So
good movie. It's a really, I like this movie. It's
it might
fun.
it might even be underrated at this point, I think.
Oh, I think the film list is bringing it back, Joe Bear. Like, hello,
Yeah.
Far and Away. I bet you people listening, the three that are, and they're like, Far and Away. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Or they're like, another one of those
Maybe we
red
can do
shirts.
the commentary for the Criterion release.
Oh, perfect. Well, we'll ask Tom if he wants to
Stunning.
come too. Tom and
Yeah,
Ron
I
can
don't,
both come too. What the hell?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't own this film. I used to own the VHS, but in
Well,
Letterbox, I think.
I actually watched the Blu-ray last night. I found the Blu-ray super cheap, so I have the transfer is not very good. So
I
it
hate
looks
when the
like
transfers suck.
a glorified DVD as opposed to a Blu-ray, which is a little disappointing, but it was still and it's not really streaming. You have to rent it to stream it. So,
Right. That's what I felt with the first issue of Gladiator that came out. That
yep.
Blu-ray, I felt the trans. I'm like, I thought it was my TV, but I'm like, I watch other Blu-rays,
And there's
and I'm
a
like,
Goodfellas Blu-ray that's the same way where the first transfer of Goodfellas is not very good too. And yeah.
yeah. Remember the Goodfellas, the DVD. You actually had to
Yeah, the
second DVD or
flipper.
flip it over.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Sorry, motorcycle just drove by, scared the crap out of me.
Oh,
Uh,
you know what else I came across that it's never been released on home video. When it aired on ABC in 1995, there's a 170-minute version of this film that exists.
Oh, really?
The
really?
the one that's not the one that's on the discs, and the only one you can get is like 215 or 220. But yeah, they padded it out to they added a bunch of deleted scenes back in to air it over 2 nights. So it's supposedly not available anywhere. It's probably on YouTube. I never checked there,
Hmm.
but yeah, I thought
Oh,
it was a
oh,
I thought it like I said, an underrated film.
oh, very underrated. Or whatever. I'm jumping around the UK right now. Yeah, underrated, and Clint Howard doing it again. I mean,
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
All right, coming up next is I'm interested to hear you guys take on this film because I don't think it's a very popular film. Um, but we're going to talk about it right now. Coming in at 787, a young man returning home to attend a wedding hooks up with a drifter who turns out to be a violent bank robber. Now, hooks up, not hook up. Before he knows it, the man finds himself involved in the robber's plans. The film, which the release date's wrong, it's not 98. It was like
Oh,
87.
88.
88,
88
okay.
maybe?
Yeah, yeah, it was late 80s, yeah. So the film's called Kansas.
Released on September 23rd, 1988, I'm guessing. I will double check that while we're talking here. Made 2.4 million. Directed by David Stevens, written by Spencer Eastman, starring Matt Dillon as Doyle Kennedy, Andrew McCarthy as Wade Corey, Leslie Hope as Lori Bales, and Kira Sedgwick as prostitute Drifter. And I'm not going to be able to tell you my thoughts, Solo, because I haven't seen this film.
Oh,
It's
Joe
not
Barrett.
streaming anywhere, and
I
Oh,
think
it's
this one will be fun, Heath, because you can sell us on why we
oh,
should watch this movie.
all
I
right.
intentionally didn't watch it, of course. Yeah.
Oh, great, great. That's awesome. What movie is this again? No, so this is a film. So there was a run, I guess 89-ish, where I was renting a lot of movies because my dad finally said you can watch rated R movies. I finally got the okay. It was fun when it was PG-13, but then when I got the rated R okay, I was like, so this was one that was a rental, and I'm like, oh, I got to see this. And when I watched it, I'm like, oh, it's got Matt Dillon, Andrew McCarthy, but I liked it, but it wasn't like a huge favorite of mine. I revisited it years later, liked it more, and I actually revisited it a couple years ago, or maybe it feels like it's been recent. Maybe because I thought it was on Prime. Maybe it's not on Prime anymore because I watched it on Prime.
yeah.
Yeah, that's when I watched it the last time, so it must not be on there anymore. Um, I was really into this film, and the writing's really good. The acting's great. I see Leslie Hope, and I'm like a young Leslie Hope. I'm like, oh, Mrs. Jack Bauer. Um,
I think
but
it might have been her first or one of them because I think I watched the trailer and it says introducing Leslie
oh,
Hope, I
okay.
think, on the trailer. So it's got to be one of her
So
first parts.
it's one of those, it's, the drifter and small town and this bank robber, and the dynamic between Matt Dillon and Andrew McCarthy it's awesome. Like Andrew McCarthy's, you know, in love with, I think it's Leslie Hope who he's in love with, and he's a drifter and he's just trying to get his life together. And by coincidence, he runs into Matt Dillon and his character, and then all of a sudden, shit goes down. But it's one of those films where how does he break away out of the clutches of this guy? And is Matt Dillon's character, is he smart or is he just desperate? Anyway, it's a really good acting clinic. I think it's one of Andrew McCarthy's better films. Matt Dillon's great in it. And it's a really great story. It has some cool different elements, but I mean, it's called Kansas. You're there. You're there in that flat land and just the small community, and it's just one of those like films that man, I loved it more and more as I've seen it. And when I recently saw it, I'm like, oh, not that I forgot about it, but I'm like, oh shit, Kansas. I was like, I remember thinking this was gonna be the greatest film ever as a kid, and I'm like, didn't understand it or whatever. I liked it, but I'm like, okay, this is a little too adult for me. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think if I was to sell this to you. Well, if you're a Matt Dillon fan, you got to see it. But it's yeah, a good afternoon evening film. Uh, I think it's well written. It's a good story. It's a solid film, and I think it's a very underrated film for that time because I know it bombed. It didn't do
Hmm.
anything. And I think because I think I can't remember if this is before or after Mannequin, but like these guys doing this type of movie, the movies they were doing weren't, the big box office. This wasn't I'm thinking now, if this came out later, I think this would be a more popular film. If it came out, maybe not today, but like, maybe probably in the 90s, it might have been one of those like considered artsy kind of like underrated kind of films.
Yeah, Mannequin
Um,
came out the year before, 87. So
okay. Yeah, it's interesting. Again, we talk about Cruise and Kidman and trying to do an Oscar type film. This film is definitely Andrew McCarthy trying to break away from the Mannequin and
yeah,
those
more of a
types.
serious.
I mean,
Well,
Matt
when I
Dillon.
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying because Drugstore Cowboy was after this, I believe. But Matt Dillon started doing some of those. I
Hmm.
mean, maybe he wasn't like as a big a star doing these films, but I really like these underrated Matt Dillon films because he's a lot better actor than, I mean, there's some movies you're like, okay, he's, whatever, but I don't know. I
In the right
just,
role, he can really be a great actor. That's when I watched the preview for this. I could see right away that it has a lot of the hallmarks of films you like so well. So I wasn't surprised to see it on your list. I actually the first thing that comes up when you look for this, it's actually hard to find information about it, but just I think it's just because it's such a generic title. But one of the reasons I really want to watch it is it says, and maybe you can talk about this, a lot of the locals, like Kansas people, natives, hate this movie because they said they don't like the portrayals of themselves in this.
Oh,
Are they all like a bunch of hicks or something? What do you remember anything
you
about
know,
that? It's similar to like when I said a few
I
minutes ago about how I didn't like Fargo the first time because I thought they were making fun of me. I'm wondering if it's a situation like that. So this is like
it
why I
might have been. I
really want
mean,
to
they
see
have
this.
your town fair and your characters that are very yeah. There's some of
Hillbilly
that.
like or okay,
Yeah,
that's
he'll or just kind of.
I'm not 100% gonna watch it when it comes back onto Prime or Netflix or something
It's
because
funny. I don't see. I don't could not living in Canada. I didn't take it as oh these people are idiots. I just kind of. I
yeah,
guess I would just kind of went with it. But it'd be interesting to go back because like where Jaws, you have a lot of the locals in the film, and you're like, oh, this works.
yeah.
That's one film that it works having the locals because sometimes you could
Hmm.
tell, okay, the acting's terrible or
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, um, but no, you know, this is one of those films that in retrospect, I thought it would get another life like kind of like people kind and I guess I don't think it has. I don't know.
Well, and I
Probably
think
not. Probably not.
some of that too is because I mean Matt Dillon never really made it to the level of a lot of his peers. Andrew McCarthy never kind of flamed out too. So it's not like this has a young Tom Cruise or something in it where somebody's going to want to go back and watch it. I think
Ye-
that's
yeah, it
kind of
doesn't
why it's
have that.
forgotten.
It's in the middle of their kind of towards oh, not Matt Dillon because he had a
I mean,
renaissance.
he keeps
He,
working, but he
I
never was
mean,
that same level of. There's not going to be Matt Dillon retrospectives on TCM in 10 years or something like that. So,
oh, maybe
you
on
know,
the DVR podcast network though.
well, that's the whole. We're our own
Little
thing
wait,
though.
we're
That's
gonna cover Wayward Pines retrospective. Season
perfect.
one. Um, yeah, it's interesting because again, it feels like you look for themes and different things with a group of films, and this like them trying to because I don't know if it was based on a book, um, but it just felt like these guys were just trying to do one of those dramas, and it
Hmm.
worked for me, but it evidently at the time just didn't work. I mean, I don't know how it was marketed or whatever, but it might have been just wrong,
Well, and
wrong year, wrong time.
the release date was September 23rd, and back then, if you were released in September, it was kind of known as a death spot. I mean, that
Yeah.
was where they dropped films that nobody wanted to watch back in that time frame because it was after the summer and it was before the Christmas fall time. So
Yeah.
maybe the studio just didn't have much faith in it too. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about late 80s, buddy cop films,
Yeah,
you know,
over the top action.
Freddy,
Yeah,
Jason, Stallone over the top, literally.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Maybe it was just one of those. Yeah. Well,
Wrong
hey,
time. Yeah.
it happens. It happens. The film list. You got a list, send it to me.
So what I'm getting is this is not a prequel to Wizard of Oz. This is a completely
It
different thing.
is. If
All
if
right.
if it's
Brilliant. That was
it's
brilliant.
based on it, Joe Bear. It's
All right.
based on.
Okay.
It's
Kansas. This is what
loosely,
happens while Dorothy's away.
loosely, loosely
Yes, yes.
based. If Dorothy was going to become a bank robber, that's what.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're at our final film of the night. You believe that?
Lucky number 10.
I expected this pod to go 4 hours. We were pretty efficient.
This one's flowed pretty well. We
Yeah.
haven't gone on as many side quests as we
All right.
normally
Well, we
do.
can go on some side quests here.
Yeah.
But coming in at 786, the true story of Molly Bloom, an Olympic class skier who ran the world's most exclusive high stakes poker game and became an FBI target. The film Molly's Game.
Limited release on Christmas 2017. Wide release January 5th, 2018. Made 29 million on a $30 million budget. Written and directed by Aaron Sorkin, based on the book of the same name by Molly Bloom, starring Jessica Chastain as Molly Bloom, Idris Elba as Charlie Jaffe, Kevin Costner as Larry Bloom, Michael Cera as Player X,
Toby Maguire.
Yeah, who is most likely Tobey Maguire from everything that has been said. Jeremy Strong as Dean Keith, Chris O'Dowd as Douglas Downey, Bill Camp as Harlan
Bill
Eustace,
Camp.
Graham Greene as Judge Foxman, and Steve Harrington himself, Joe Keery, as Trust Fund Cole. Solo, Molly's Game.
Nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay. Just
Yes.
throw it out there because we haven't gone into too many awards. Maybe because a lot of these films don't have awards.
Well, and actually, When Harry Met Sally was also best screenplay at a nomination, I believe, too.
Yeah. Okay. Molly's Game. Really like this film, guys. I was fascinated, of course, by the celebrity card game thing. I
Yes.
dove deep to find out who X was and
Uh-huh.
all the theories and the people who were at this game. This is definitely, of course, any film Idris Elba's in. This isn't like one of his better roles, but I just love Idris. So
I think he's awesome in this. I loved him in this.
yeah, I mean, he's Idris. He's
Yeah.
Stringer Bell. Was he Stringer Bell? Yeah. Duh.
Uh-huh.
Um, I was about to call him Avon Barksdale. I know Stringer Bell. Anyway, um, yeah. Uh, I was just so fascinated by this story, and actually, Star City Murders fame Amy Mata, she was on a flight with Molly Bloom and actually became friends with her. So she's friends with
Really?
Molly Bloom. Yeah, and
That's
I remember
cool.
and I remember Jeremy Bloom was drafted by the Eagles, the other skier.
Yep.
They were a big skiing family.
Yeah, two-time
Um,
Olympian and yeah.
so I knew of Jeremy Bloom first before Molly Bloom, and I was like, wait a minute, that's the brother and so I was like, interesting family. Um, but just the fact of how Molly like got ended up getting this game going, like just that whole process, and then of course the threats and the shit that goes with that. And then you got a little Kevin Costner as Daddy, who does a really good job. I really
Mm-hmm.
liked Costner in this. I
I
know
did too.
Brett would loves him in Yellowstone, but you know, and of course, like this is kind of the start, like the Bill Camp run that I like. Started like when Bill Camp shows up, I'm like, oh, Bill Camp, I like this guy. Like kind of one of those things. But no, it's a really good story and interesting, and man, it's a good watch.
Well, and I'm pretty sure that this is one of the roles that got Jeremy Strong the lead in Succession because this is
Mm,
very much like a Succession character, and he's just as slimy in both of these at the same time. So I think this cast is awesome. I think this is a
yeah.
fantastic movie. I know I had trashed biopics a couple weeks ago, but this is the kind of biopic I love. So, Joe, have you seen this one?
Yeah, I didn't see this in the theater, but I did watch it like at home. And I got sucked into it. I think because of the Sorkin uh, that
Yeah,
he was
that
involved.
helps.
I figured it would be good. I didn't really know much about the story, but I think knowing that it was like a kind of interesting biopic where it's like a real life story or crime sort of thing. And I think like the fact that they're secretive games makes it mean it's like fun to watch and kind of get
Hmm.
sucked into like, well, what's the secret? So I remember watching, I don't really know much about poker at all. So I think they did a good job of telling you what you need to know to follow along with the tension of things.
Yeah.
Right,
Like
right.
that I got really sucked into it without even really knowing what was going on is kind of a good sign that it was doing something right. Um, yeah, I liked it.
You know
Yeah,
what scares you know what, Ando, you know what
yeah.
scares me more, or I get more uneasy? There's two things that get me really uneasy in movies. One, or shows. One is when someone's in someone's office, they're looking for something, but the people like it makes
Oh,
me freaking
yep.
so nervous.
Yep.
Yeah.
And two, when people lose a shitload of money.
Uh-huh.
That freaking scares me. Like I just like because you start thinking of what if I was in that position and
Yeah.
just went and I'm like, oh my God. Like so those
To me, that's much
uneasy.
scarier than people in masks standing behind me in my room while
Yeah, yeah,
I hear a loud
exactly.
bang.
Because at least I have a fighting chance. If I lose a lot of money or no, but that I don't know why, but that looking in the office, what I see it's in everything practically. I get so nervous. I want the scene
Hmm.
to be over. It's weird. I'm like, I don't want them to get caught, you know. That's I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I don't this I'm amazed this wasn't really a big hit.
I
29 million on
know.
a 30 million. I I'm shocked that this didn't wasn't more popular and I don't I don't know. I can recommend this to 10 people, and I bet none of them have even heard of it. It was just not a big.
I don't
Was
get
this a
it.
Netflix movie?
No,
And
it
it
No,
went
went
to
in
it. It went to
no,
theaters?
it's
theaters.
Yeah.
theater. I mean,
Yep.
I'm trying to think. I know I saw it at home for the first time.
Hmm.
Um, it was, I don't know if
Yeah,
it was
well,
on
because
HBO or if I rented it.
it
I can't
released around
remember.
Christmas because they thought it was going to be up for a bunch of Oscars because of the Sorkin thing and all that.
Yeah.
And I think that's also part of it too. Is like his dialogue is a special kind of pacing. It's really easy to keep watching something and be in tune with it when his dialogue is going too.
Oh,
It's
I saw this first. I got one of the screeners. I got a screener
oh
for it.
nice.
That's what it
Okay.
was. Yeah. There was a run where there was one year I was on the nominating committee. It's like random, and I
Hmm.
got everything. It was like, and this is, late around this time, probably a year or two after or year before this. And I remember like, oh my God, I could get used to this, getting every freaking movie.
Yeah, for free to watch
Now
at home.
everything's
Yeah.
out so fast. Well, they don't even I did get a couple of DVDs this year, but like this for the SAG Awards, I'm constantly and they've really it's a lot of digital copies now.
Well,
There's like
it's
very few DVDs, but I would love when they sent actually a few years ago Oppenheimer Blu-ray. I mean, it does
Oh,
have the
nice.
watermark on it, but it was like at least
still,
it's sending a Blu-ray. I was like,
yeah,
that's
no
why
kidding.
Axel, I love Oppenheimer because I got a free Blu-ray.
And because Oppenheimer's a good film,
Yes, it
no matter
is.
what Axel says.
No matter
This is
what,
gonna,
Axel.
we have to at least have one pot shot at Axel on every podcast. So
No, I mean it keeps the ratings up, right, Joe Bear?
that's true.
Yeah.
Sure. He's like,
So
sure.
I got a question for you. So I was reading some stuff about the production of
Okay.
this film. So how much do you think would be like a normal day? Not like on a big Marvel thing or something, but just a normal film. How many pages of screenplay would you shoot like in a typical day, do you think?
I think what is the tip? I mean, we did more. I think 3 to 5 pages might be the average or something. I think.
Okay.
Don't quote me. It's
Well,
usually. It's not usually. Again, it depends if you're at a location, how many scenes you can get done. Like there's a lot of
yeah. Oh, I
location
suppose, yeah,
dependent
location stuff and
because
okay, because
because some locations they'll use a corner for another scene.
yeah, oh yeah,
Um,
use the
I've
same
had different
building in
experiences
multiple.
with that.
Yeah.
The more lower budget ones, usually, like I was doing
You
this
can
film, Gangsta Mafia. Okay. So with
good
Joey
title.
Buttafuoco.
Oh
Um,
God.
it never got finished and
Well,
never came out.
That
It
might
was
be a good thing for you.
yeah, well, no, but
that's good
I
to
had
me.
scenes in a hot tub with a bunch of like, and he's busting my chops as I'm trying to talk on the phone while these girls are.
Ah.
I was, yeah, hotel. I mean, anyway, but what I was getting at is that first day of shooting, we did 5 scenes, which was like one scene was like 5 pages in itself.
Okay.
And so we shot a lot, but it was lower budget. So they trying to get, we're at the
Okay,
like
because
Chartel Mama or whatever hotel we were at
oh yeah,
in Hollywood. And so we were,
trying to
we
bust
got
out as quick as you
trying
could.
to get as quick as you can. Yeah.
So I
So
read something about this that Idris was only available to shoot for 10 days for this whole film, and him and Jessica Chastain shot the 10 days and shot 45 pages in 6 days. Is what the 45 pages of script in 6 days. So
that's a
like all the
lot.
scenes in their office where they're talking and
Uh-huh.
all that stuff. So I thought that sounded like a lot. I don't know enough about ins and
It
outs of production,
is,
but
it is, but it does happen like that. But the fact that 45 pages, that just, I mean, yeah, they had to get all his scenes done. So they must
He
have.
writes a lot of dialogue though too, right? So
hmm.
a
Yeah,
lot of
it's a lot of dial. I mean, you have to have two strong actors to pull that off.
And I'm
I
sure the
mean,
bigger the star, the harder it is to round it people up at the right times and the whatever and the
yeah, but the fact that they pulled it off just shows you the caliber of professionalism and actors they are because
hmm.
it's like doing a play. It's like
Oh yeah.
memorizing, I mean, because a lot of times, like when I was doing Star City, like I mean, I had the script way ahead, so I was constantly working on it, but trying to produce and do other things, there were some times where I had to like we shot, get home at like 10 o'clock at night, calls like at 9, and I need to go over my
Get your
scene
lines
for the
for the night.
next
Yeah,
day. But when you're in the zone, it's easier. It's like the
I'm
more you
sure.
audition, the more you work, it becomes faster getting everything nailed down. Um, but I mean, prime example, we had our set for the police station for 5 days. So we had to do every police. And there was one day, I mean, I think we shot like 10 scenes or whatever that week. And
Hmm.
so we shot a lot of, I mean, we shot a lot of pages in a short period of time, and that it's difficult. So for them, I mean, I'm sure they had better amenities.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
You know,
sure.
it's a little, but it's still hard work. And so that's pretty impressive. I'm glad you shared that because I am
Well,
kind of
it stuck
amazed.
out to me when I was reading through some of the behind the scenes on this one. I'm like, that, it's like I say, it sounds like, because that's like averaging not like what, eight
8 a day.
pages? Yeah, which
Yeah. And
that's
if they're long, you know what? I gotta when I revisit this film, I'm gonna pay attention to
pay
that because
attention.
I mean some things are edited out, but I'm wondering because like when we shot the McQueen scene, me and him at the bar, I mean, he had a lot of dialogue,
Hmm.
ton of dialogue, and but I would break it up with a couple lines, and so, but that was a lot, and I'm like, damn, and I mean, the whole story with that, but you know had to recast and bring in Jason from New York, and he just banged it out.
Uh-huh.
Um, I mean, occasionally get a couple words wrong here and there, but sometimes I personally don't feel my director felt differently, which is fine because he wrote it as well. But no, like if a couple lines here and there, if it feels real or if still works. But there are times where if you say a word a certain way or miss a word, it's a totally different meaning.
Of
So
course.
so I get that, of
But
course,
I'm sure
because
sometimes too in the script, it's not gonna, even on the page, it looks okay, but when you say it, it doesn't sound natural or something. I'm sure sometimes.
sometimes, yeah, and that's one thing Giles did, which was very good, is he met with every actor, went through all their lines and said, "Would you say it like that?" Like he really was
Oh, yeah,
into that.
kind
So
of
I like
customize it to
that.
them. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of like, would you say this? Because there's times where I've been on shoots where I got a line and I it was okay. So Uzi at the Alamo, we've talked about. So there was this
Hmm.
one line where the father's yelling, my line's coming up, but he's like, but it was like the way he was saying it, it almost sounded like, and the DJ revolves it like ice, ice, baby. So every
Uh-huh.
time he ended, I started laughing because I felt like he was quoting ice, ice, baby. He wasn't. It's just the way the
Yeah,
words
the
he would
rhythm
spit them
coming
out.
out of
He
the way you
did
spot.
something,
Yeah.
and maybe it was resolve it or so. I don't know. And I'm like, I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop laughing.
That's a fun little story.
Oh, and
Yes.
Star City Murders. So there's a line where Amy says, we're doing the debrief in the movie, and she's like, it's not like the people are all packed in up there. And sometimes words got changed, and the packed in up there, I'm thinking fudge packer, I'm thinking all this like, and I couldn't stop fucking laughing my tail off. And I was like, and it was after lunch when we were shooting her coverage, and I felt so bad, but and I'm like, I know she's trying not to laugh because she knows I'm laughing off screen because that line, there's once in a while certain lines
Uh-huh.
anyway. And that's and another Star City tidbit, since we had some time. There's a scene where we're interviewing the principal, and Michelle Lukes, um, plays Bullock, picks up the principal's book. He's like, author,
Yep.
huh? And
I
she
remember
kind of
this.
flashes
Yeah.
it. And I think I might have talked, I don't know if I talked about it on the commentary. Go to the Star City Murders
Oh.
podcast. But I was like, I felt the way it looked, it was like Lost in Translation with Bill Murray doing
Oh,
his
with
commercial.
the whiskey, yeah.
Well, yeah. But no one else thought that way, but I still think it's the Lost in Transition.
I
Anyway,
don't think you said that on the commentary. I don't remember. I got to go back and listen to that
wow.
commentary. I
It's
haven't
pretty
never listened to
drunk.
it since
But
we.
even when I'm drunk, I'm still pretty good at trying not to say what I shouldn't, sort of.
I think when we recorded that commentary, I think we were pretty sober yet at that point, weren't we?
That was Zambuca night, I
Oh.
think. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Joe Barry. I was a
Those are my
Zambuca.
favorite episodes.
Oh my God.
It's the end of the podcast. People aren't listening at this point anyway, so we're
Yeah.
okay.
No one's listening anyway.
Yeah,
Really?
Um,
I knew somebody. I knew you'd get that reference.
Joe Barry, did you talk about Molly's game or did I miss that?
Yeah, yeah. I liked it.
I
Yeah,
went into
good.
so many
Yeah.
tangents. Um,
Um,
yeah, it's you still, Ando, I'm still thinking like why, we talk about movies and like why didn't they hit? Like it
This
just
one, it seems like this one is particularly seems like it could have been a huge hit if it was released at the right time.
maybe, yeah.
Because I mean, it's when Chastain and Elba are just starting to peak, and they're not peak, but really starting to get to be big. It's got
Yeah.
strong supporting actors like Kevin Costner, Michael Cera. I mean, there's people. It has all the right ingredients, and it just didn't hit, which is and it's good. It's very, very
It
good.
is.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't.
just a solid flick.
I mean, we're maybe people just like, oh, Aaron Sorkin, or
Maybe I don't know. It's
I don't know.
people don't think a
Because
poker movie's going to be boring or something. I don't.
Yeah, maybe.
But
Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
yeah. I
nobody
don't
gets
know. It's
murdered, so
yeah. That's true. It's just a nice
well, you know
adult
what I mean. Like
drama.
the real life story isn't like some huge climactic. You know what I mean? I think certain people
Yeah,
knew
Well,
about it,
yeah.
but other things. So if it's based on a true story, like it maybe could only get so crazy
yeah,
without, right? Like if it was something that was written that was not based on a true story, there would have been a bigger thing. Like if we're talking about,
yeah,
but I
Yeah, that
that kind
could
of
be.
thing dramatically, I guess.
Or maybe the
yeah. It's
title,
yeah.
Molly's Game.
That could
I
be it
mean,
too.
could that be? I mean, if you know nothing about a movie and you're looking,
Yeah, you're
let's
looking
go
at
to
the
the movies,
titles.
and you're like, Molly's Game. What is that?
Yeah, because I mean, the
The
time
sequel
that
to
that was,
Far and Away,
yeah.
Molly Bloom's.
Well, like I think one of the Star Wars films was out then, so I mean, maybe people are going there and they see Star Wars and they see Molly's Game. Oh, let's
It's
go
like, oh,
see
that's a
Star
kid's
Wars.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know?
What is that? A Pixar thing or something? But if it was Pixar, it would have made a ton of more money than
Well,
Disney.
yeah.
But
Oh, you wonder too with movies like the titles. Do the titles ruin a movie? I mean, there's some titles or movies. Well, like we talked about Iron Claw. It
yep,
took me some digging to find out it was about the Von Erichs.
yeah. I think I remember you texting us in the text group chat at one point. It's like, holy shit, that's about the Von Erichs, and it had been out for a while. I think even.
Yeah, I was shocked. I'm like, well,
Hmm.
I gotta see it now.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a mystery. Hopefully, if somebody's listening and hasn't watched Molly's Game, check it out. Really good.
Really good.
Especially, it would have fit in good in those early 2000s or 90s films that we were talking about, like the adult kind of a thriller, dramatic with good
Now,
acting.
do you, how would you compare this to Rounders?
I think this is much better than Rounders. I'm in the club that says Rounders is slightly overrated. I think it's okay. I think it's good. I don't think it's great.
Joe Bear, I know you're in Boston, so Matt
I
Damon's
haven't seen
close to you.
Rounders in a long time. So I can't really remember, but I feel like that was more about the poker itself, like more technical, maybe, or more, I don't know
Mhm. Yeah, I think
what I
the
remember about it.
directors or the producers, they did Tilt on ESPN. They were
Oh,
big.
mm-hmm.
Um, I think did one of them write a book about blackjack? I forget. I may be mixing my
Yeah, I think there's more
people.
actual poker involved in that than there is in that. Because I mean, poker is definitely a
Yeah.
part of this, but it's not the whole.
Yeah,
A lot of this is the relationship between Elba and Chastain and the courtroom stuff and the.
Rounders is a movie. I didn't like it when I first saw it.
Hmm.
I was like, oh, it's predictable, you know. But then I think later on I watched it, I'm like, huh. And then of course you hear Bill Simmons loves it. And then then I'm like, I gotta revisit this because I'm like, maybe it is a better movie than I remember. I think what's the act Gretchen Mol
Gretchen Mol, yes.
wasn't a fan when she first got on the scene, but then I grew to like her a lot.
I've always
Um,
liked her. I forgot she was the lead girl in
yeah,
that.
I don't know why. Maybe she looked like someone I was broke up with or something, but no,
Well,
I honestly don't know why I was just not into her character. Maybe it's
hmm
her. I don't know. But then as I watched some other things, I'm like, no, she's actually a good actress. I'm like, why didn't I
Yeah, I
like her in
like her.
Rounders? It might have
And
been the character. I don't
I
know.
haven't because Rounders. I want to say that came out when I was in college, like what, 98, 97,
98.
somewhere in
I
there.
want to
Yeah.
say 98.
And I don't think I've seen it since theaters. And because I
Mm.
remember leaving, I'm like, it was okay. I didn't dislike it, but I never have revisited it. So maybe it's one I should watch again because I know you had like Simmons and a bunch of people on The Ringer
Yeah,
love
well,
it.
and then so like yeah, when I hear people that I like really like a movie, and if I am out on, I give it another chance because I'm like, okay, I know they're like, I mean, because a lot of those movies they do on the rewatchables, I'm like, yep, it's coming on the film list, coming on the film, it's coming
Yeah,
on the film.
yeah, yeah. And I think I remember Isn't Malkovich like a Russian gangster or something
Yeah,
in
with the
that?
Oreos.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember him not. I don't. I remember. I think I remember him not really liking him in that much. But I'll give Rounders
yeah,
another chance.
yeah.
It's been a long
Rogers,
time.
yeah, I need to give, and Ed Norton's in it, and
Oh, that's
I
right.
I think it's because that friend who's, again, when I'm worried about money, people losing money, he's that friend that's down on his luck and is in debt and all that. And I think
Uh-huh.
that I was like probably around the time I just graduated from college and was on my own and broke. And so maybe I felt like that. Maybe I felt like Ed Norton's character. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows, Joe Bear? I feel like a lot of
Yeah.
things at times. All right.
Well, are we ready
Let's
to
just,
wrap it up?
I think so. To recap tonight's pod, 795, Memories of Murder. 794, 15 minutes. 793, Halloween H2O, 20 years later. 792, and Ando's favorite, Reindeer Games. 791, Manhattan. 790, a film that the jump scare of all time or whatever,
Jump
The
scare the film
Strangers.
or the
Jump
movie.
scare, yeah,
Yes.
jump scare the movie, The Strangers. And we found out there's shitload of sequels. 789, When Harry Met Sally. 788, Far and Away. That one was rough. 787, Kansas. And 786, Kevin Costner's Molly's Game. The great Molly Bloom.
Yes. It was a fun list. We
It
had a
was
fun
fun.
guest tonight too.
Joe, thank
Yeah,
you for doing this. I know it's late for you in Boston, but
it's all right. Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Yes. Come back anytime.
Yeah, I'll have to study
just
up
not too
ahead.
soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, you have access to the list. So like in the future, like if you see a group that you'd like to
All right.
tackle, let me know and we will reserve that for you.
Hmm.
Because
Cool.
you're always welcome on the film list. It was fun having a third person,
Yes.
especially when you both didn't watch the film and you turned to me and I was hoping that one of you just recently.
You know what? It's been
Next time.
it's been quite a few pods since there's one I haven't seen. So and
Yeah,
this one it just man, that's I actually didn't even remember hearing about that film. So it took me a while to even find it. So
yeah. Well, I'm very worried about next film list because it's a couple of movies that are youth movies of mine, dear to my heart, and I know on Letterboxd Ando didn't really care for them, but maybe it's just you ranked them like 2.5 stars. But
some of the ones I just did recently, you saw
yeah,
my
yeah,
rankings. I cannot wait to talk about those films.
okay, because they're definitely different from me growing up and seeing them versus now. I mean, I'm worried, but
If you remember when I really talked about Southland Tales and how much fun I had with that, even though I don't think it's a perfect
good.
film
You're
by any
right, right.
means.
Well, yeah.
Some of these, especially the
Okay.
first one we're going to talk about, I
Oh, I
cannot wait
loved.
to talk about that
See,
film.
it's cheesy, and I loved it though when I was a
Yes.
kid, and freaking just it was one of those like kind of my cult movies. I mean, a
Hmm.
freaking we used to do real quick. Sorry, Joe. I know you got to go to bed, but
No, that's all
keeping you. Me and my friend Paul Kermizian, who actually directed Calling Bobcat, that's on the list. I went to Syracuse Film
Hmm.
School with. When we get bored in class, we would write it down sometimes, or I would just improv it. We would just improv, but we would get like two or three bad actors and a bad title. And so it was like, Conrad Bain, Sally Struthers, and introducing, Joe Bear in Free Jack 2, you know, Jackie's Boogaloo or whatever, like stupid stuff or like Dark August. Like we would always come up. That was so much fun. We just was just freaking I miss you, Paul. I know you're not listening. I haven't talked to you in a long time. But I'd like to see you again. He's a good guy.
Yeah, that this next group, just looking at what we have coming, there's at least two films I genuinely love. Like love, love, love.
Oh,
So, and there's a lot of other good films on there that are most of them
okay.
the next one I think are actually very good films. So,
Well, I know there's one that you definitely it's definitely not a good film, but
I maybe didn't give it a great rating, but I still had fun with it, if that makes sense.
okay,
My
that's
letterbox rankings have gotten tougher too, because
oh
I'm
good.
watching
Okay.
so many more movies with doing this
I
film list
know.
podcast that I've been watching a lot more. So it's
I get like 3 stars for me, solid film. 3.5. It's just not a 4, but
yep.
I tend to rate a lot of films 3.5 stars.
Like usually if I go to a 2.5, that means it's not a film I dislike. It's a film that I think there's good things about it, but
Right.
it doesn't quite do that.
Yeah.
If you get into the half and the one zone, that's the ones I really don't
Dude,
like.
I have some on that. I like gave I like I hate to do it because the film, I don't want someone's movie to get
Yeah.
done, but I'm just like, oh my God, it's rough.
I think Jason Takes Manhattan might have been a half star for me or a 1 star.
Great film. I don't care what you say. Great film. Actually, I
That
don't
was
think
one
I
of the
ever called
funnest.
it.
That was one of the funnest ones we've talked about on this whole podcast
Yeah.
journey. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just that's a Heath Solo deep cut that no one should ever watch.
everyone
Anyway,
should watch it and
I
laugh.
like it.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
all right, let's get out of here. Joe Bear needs to, he's got to wake up early, I'm sure, or sleep in. I
Yep.
don't know.
Yeah, I gotta
Um,
wake up early.
Gonna go wake up early. Yeah, I have to wake up early too. Go figure. I did not take a nap
But
today, Joe Bear.
oh
Mando.
no.
Anyway, all right, fellas, thank you so much for being a
Thank
part of
you.
this journey with me.
Yes.
Go to dvrpodcast.com, patreon.com/dvr. Leave us a review. We also have Around the Couch coming back soon, the fourth season, I believe, of covering the NFL.
Fourth
Ando,
year.
Brett, Axel, and me. We will be doing our Portland trip again this year, second year running. So that'll be fun.
1 month from today, we will be there.
Oh wow! And I'll already be like, "Oh, Cowboys lost," and I'm gonna sleep my sorrows away. Whatever I do now, I don't know what I do. Anyway, Joe Bear, thank you, brother. Doors always open. Ando, doors never locked. And I'm Heath Solo.
Pleasure as
See you.
always.
See you next time on the
Thank you
film
guys. Great
list.
talking with you.
Thanks,
All right.
Joe.
Have a good night. Of course. Thanks for talking.
All right.
All
I
right.
think, you know what? I think let me shut off the YouTube. We will see you in just a sec. Oh, how do I do that? Okay. Well, we can still talk.
All right,
I was
Joe,
gonna
go to
shut off the.
sleep.
Yeah, get out of here.
All right.
Go to
Yeah,
bed.
okay. All right. Well,
Thanks,
it's
brother.
great talking with you guys. I
All right.
appreciate it.
See you guys later.
Nice.
See ya.
See you.